Tonight's episode of the Tuesday Night Cigar Club is brought to you by Drew Estate. Come experience the rebirth of cigars at www.drewestate.com and download the free Drew Diplomat smartphone app today to discover nearby retailers, RSVP to special events, redeem points to win exclusive Drew Estate merchandise, and much, much more.
This might be a big mistake, but I'm having too much fun to wait. Flag her down when she comes back by. That one's yours and this one's mine. Bring another round. Bring another round. Bring another round. Bring another round. Bring another round.
Here's the suckers.
Good evening, brothers and sisters of the Leaf. Coming to you live, finally, once again from O'Brien's Irish Pub in downtown historic Temple, Texas. It's the Tuesday Night Cigar Club podcast. Tonight, the boys welcome some very special guests as they talk their way through 1987's Revenge of the Nerds 2, Nerds in Paradise, while smoking the Traveling Man Lancero from Hiram Solomon Cigars, paired expertly with the Voodoo Liquid Paradise IPA from New Belgium Brewing Company. Whether you're a nerd or a jock, it just doesn't matter, folks, because we're in for one hell of a party. So sit back, light 'em up, and enjoy the show.
Good to see you all, boys. I came across a fun little story earlier on today I thought I'd share with you before we start here. This lady named Maria, a real devout Catholic, got married at a real young age. She had 10 children. After her first husband died, she remarried and had 10 more children. Very quick succession, obviously. A few weeks after her second husband passed away, Maria also sadly died. And at Maria's funeral, the priest looked skyward and said, "At last, they're finally together." And her sister was in the front row at the funeral and she said, "Father, do you mean that Maria's finally together with her first husband or her second husband?" He's like, no, I meant her legs.
Gabe, you I want to go a little easy on the religious jokes tonight.
Religious jokes? I'll lighten up, yeah, boy. Hey, Doc, why did God make man before woman?
Oh, geez.
Because he didn't want any advice on how to do it. No, seriously, why did God make Adam before you? Do we know?
I'm not getting into this.
He wanted to give Adam a chance to speak.
Kate.
Yeah, what's wrong with you guys?
We literally have a reverend sitting next to us.
Oh, crap.
Hey, man, how you doing?
We have a reverend at the table. Ooh.
I knew you were here all along.
Did you? Yeah, thanks.
Your head was blocking. Why didn't you say something earlier? Oh, boy. Well, hello there, Rev. Welcome.
Hey, what's up?
Finally a chance to bring some religion to you heathen sons of bitches.
I'll get the water out. Hold on.
Welcome, Rev. Welcome, Derek. Welcome, everybody, to the Tuesday Night Cigar Club podcast, episode 92, coming to you live from O'Brien's Irish Pub in historic downtown Temple, Texas.
Downtown Temple.
Is it just me, or does every downtown in Texas claim to be historic?
When you live in the great state of Texas, every downtown is
Just once I'd like to see a downtown be honest. Like, anything historic ever happen here?
No.
We're just the downtown.
I didn't see any signs in Hillsboro where they made that claim.
It's just downtown Hillsboro?
I think it's just Hillsboro. They don't even have a downtown.
It's not like a Brahms capital of Texas or Brahms capital of the world.
I'm going to get a bunch of letters from the Hillsboro Chamber of Commerce now, aren't I?
More than you usually get.
Those are usually my fault. I guess this is too.
Well, historic status or not, we haven't been here at the pub in a long time. I think Roadhouse. I think it was like episode 50. I think it was like our big 50th.
Yeah, well, that was like 5 episodes of hell, and
Yeah.
takes 50 episodes to recover it.
Yeah, it was brutal. Man, we got shit-faced that night. So let's see if we can
I
talk.
was about to say, I just remember looking over at that side of the table, just going, "You assholes!"
Oh, yeah, you were real miserable that night. You seem in much better spirits tonight, Tut. Probably because we're doing a live show. That's what you want to do.
Well,
all
Dad and my Rev's here.
Hey.
Oh, and this guy.
And Derek. You've been wanting to do nothing but live shows. So
Yes.
you got your wish tonight. We are live on Facebook for the second time, maybe?
Oh, did I grab yours?
It's whatever.
Okay.
He does that, Derek. Keep an eye on him. Anywho, tonight we do have 2 special VIP guests with us. Rev Java,
Matt Kate.
Mr. Ryan Henderson. How are you, sir?
Phenomenal. How are you?
I'm great.
Good.
You just flew into Texas this afternoon?
Absolutely.
From
yeah.
New York?
From New York, upstate New York.
We've been friends. We're going to talk a little bit about our friendship in a minute.
Couple years, yeah.
But
We don't tell all the stories, though.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No. This is live.
Yeah, right.
Fan of the show, but old friends.
Yep.
Really glad to have you here.
Thanks. Pleasure to be here.
And you did what all great guests do. You brought tonight's cigars.
I did. I tried my best.
We'll get to those here in a second. And then our second VIP guest.
I don't know about VIP, but I'll take guest.
You are a guest. You are our
And don't
guest.
forget it.
I'll try. Mr. Derek Matthews of Black Label Trading Company.
Here, thanks for having me.
Pleasure to have you here, sir.
It's good to be here.
And we're going to get to why you're here in just a minute also.
That sounded very aggressive. We'll get to why you're here later on. Jeez.
Hail, gentlemen.
Everybody drink. Rev, if God sneezes in front of you, what do you say?
God normally says, Gesundheit, and then would say, make sure you like the Tuesday Night Cigar Club podcast.
And wash your hands.
And wash your hands.
And wash your hands.
Yeah.
But that second part.
Yep, absolutely.
You have it on good authority. God is
Pretty
a
good
fan.
authority.
God
yeah.
is
I mean,
a
not
fan
exact, but pretty good authority.
God's a fan
yeah.
of the Tuesday Night Cigar
That's
Club.
what I hear, allegedly. So
I like it. Hey, you know what? My arm just stopped tingling.
Speaking of tingling, these microphones, these gold microphones, I haven't had the pleasure to be in front of these, and I'm wondering, is this the new Jesse Smollett model that you guys brought in from Glee or whatever his show is? I don't know.
I don't get the reference.
Well, they're just very fancy.
They're
very
flashy?
important. Yeah, they're flashy.
Well, they're VIP microphones. So if you weren't a VIP, we wouldn't be able to hear you talking right now.
Maybe I shouldn't be a VIP.
They're VIP sensitive. No, we've always had these mics.
Pretty nice.
They must look. I think they probably look a little toned down on YouTube.
Pretty shiny.
Pretty shiny, like it. Well, Tut shines them every night.
Cade makes me.
I make him. Well, real quick before we get started, thank you for joining us. If you're watching in on Facebook Live, we are going to talk about Cats Fest 6 for a second. Mentioned it on the last show. The 2019 Cats Festival, aka Cats Fest 6, will be the first craft beer and cigar festival in the United States. How's that never happened before? But Cats Fest is so much more than a craft beer and cigar festival. Oh yes, it is a great community coming together to support our deployed men and women in the armed services and having an exceptional time while doing it.
I also heard there's chili with beans, too. Didn't I hear that?
Oh, I'll get to the chili.
Oh,
with
okay,
beans.
yeah.
That
was part of the...
momentarily.
I'm just, yeah.
You guys always have an exceptional time at Cats Fest, don't you?
Always have.
Always have. Things kick off in style. I'll give you a little preview of what you're in store for if you go to Cats Fest, which, maybe that's why you're listening. We have 4 tickets to give away tonight to Cats Fest. So listen here. This is what you could be in store for. Things kick off in style Friday night with the Drew Estate VIP Denim and Lace Dinner. It's always a good meal. If we do go, we don't know if TNCC is going to be there this year. We're still trying to get some information. If we do go, though, we will be VIPs. We're always VIPs.
Who's wearing the lace? Oh, okay.
Cody is a lace man.
The Drew Estate dinner is then followed by the chili with beans competition. Rev, Derek, are you guys beans in your chili, guys?
I'm the kind of guy that doesn't
Discriminate?
prepare his own meals, let's call it that way, so I'll take it however I can get it.
Okay.
I prefer chili with beans, but I got to say I have family in Ohio. I'm at Cincinnati chili, no beans. So I'm kind of on the fence there.
They put on spaghetti, too.
Yeah, absolutely. 5-way, whatever, 4-way, whatever. Yeah, but...
Okay. On the last show, we had
those
a little
long-suffering Bengals fans. And their wacky ways.
Well, maybe they shouldn't be eating so many beans, or maybe they need to eat more
Maybe
beans.
they need more, yeah.
And then after the chili with beans competition, there's the Drew Diplomat Legendary Pre-Party, which, Rev, I think the last one we got pretty nuts with you.
There was a cat involved, that's all I know.
There was a big cat involved. Boy, so many drinks. Were you there, Derek?
I was there when you guys got back, and it was my first time getting to meet Mincy. And then the next day we did an interview, and he acted like we had never met. So I made quite the impression, and
I
apparently so
actually
did the
forgot
booze.
you for a couple hours, too. Yeah, these parties are off the hook. Just crazy good.
Wait, who are you again?
Doctor?
I did mention last time, though, I think it may have been ill planning to put the chili with beans competition before the... Who's hitting the dance floor after it's chili with beans?
It's going to be tough.
Well, I'll say it once again. On Saturday, that's the day you want to be there. You get cigars. You get beer. You got a Bloody Mary competition in the morning. You got mustache and beard competitions in the afternoon. Derek, you got a nice beard going.
Thanks. I've been working on it. James is a little disappointed that I cut it down a few months ago, but I'm a little hirsute as it is. So this is coming back.
All right, I haven't seen it in a while.
Thank you.
I like it. If you were going, you could enter the competition.
Yeah. Well, I don't think when it's like working at the bar, you're not allowed to enter the contest. So
Figures.
True. Wait, is that true?
I do always bring up the challenging questions.
Yeah. Tut.
Yeah, all right.
Pull the cord, will you? There's also Bloody Mary. What did I say? Bloody Mary mustaches. Live music all day.
That sounds awful.
And finally, on Sunday, you get a bunch of stuff like Cigars for Warriors. Mincy, you'd like this, Doctor. 2-person scramble golf tournament.
It would be unfair if I were to enter.
According to Derek, you can't. No, we can't have any fun. Can we go to the crazy pizza party, Derek? Would that be okay?
I'll sign off on that. Yeah.
But if I win whatever the Bloody Mary mustache thing is, I'd have a disguise.
Derek would probably still tell him. He seems like kind of
My reputation precedes me.
kind of a rat. All right.
Wow, rat. Wow.
A tattletale.
Dang, yeah, that smells so much better.
Dude, I didn't have to be here, man. You could just...
I'm just teasing, of course. It's literally 3 crazy days. It is 3 crazy days of raising hell and raising a ton of dough for our troops in the process. So much money is raised, and it goes to our favorite charity, Cigars for Warriors. Rev, you've been to most of the Cats Fests. Could you maybe talk a little bit? I mean, you obviously do the opening prayers.
Yep. We do a POW MIA. We do a empty folding of the flag, the whole kind of thing. So we're really trying to remember our troops that have passed away, those that are left behind, and try to keep that in the center of what we do.
And there's a big military presence there.
This year there'll be a junior ROTC group coming in and doing the display of the flag, along with the folding, and along with, I believe, taps too we're trying to have as well. So it'll be kind of a ceremony sometime along the day during Saturday.
Okay.
I don't know the exact time, but it'll be sometime during the day on Saturday.
Okay. Are you going to Cats Fest this year?
I will be there.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe you could win a ticket tonight. Save yourself some money.
That'd be great. We'll see how that works.
I'll look into that.
I think I'll be.
I think we're ineligible to win the tickets,
yeah.
at least till he's gone.
Yeah.
And Derek, why the hell are you here?
Well, Black Label has been a part of Cats Fest since the company came out, and this year, unfortunately, we're not going to be able to be there. I think everybody knows James and Angela live down in Nicaragua. I had a previous family engagement, and of course, Stephanie's piloting around the world now, and it didn't work for our schedules, but we do very much value the mission of the Cats Fest and Cigars for Warriors, so I asked Matt and the crew if we could come on tonight to announce that we are making a $1,000 donation to Cigars for Warriors.
Hey!
We'll be sending that off tomorrow. Wanted to encourage all your viewers, and I'll see myself again telling myself maybe make a personal check to really give this charity a try. Send them some money, help them out. It as someone who has a lot of family who's been deployed, it really means all the world for them to have cigars and the accoutrements that go with them.
It is the #1 requested relaxation item by our troops, and not only do now, since the FDA got involved and big companies like Drew Estate, who were sending just skids of cigars, pallets of cigars for so many years, they can't do that anymore because of the FDA. So not only do they need cigar donations now, but that shit is expensive to ship.
Yeah.
So much of that money that raised goes to postage to get over there. $1,000, man.
Yeah, putting $1,000 down on it.
That is nice.
Well, we wish we could be there. Just didn't work out, but we still want to show our support. So thanks for, letting us come on. And Rev, thanks for everything you're doing for the organization, too.
TNCC will also be donating a check.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Is that right?
I don't feel comfortable talking amounts. It's between us and Cigars for Warriors.
That's right.
That is awesome, Mr. Matthews. Well done. Well done. And to raise a little bit more money for Cigars for Warriors, you've got a little something up your sleeve for this evening.
I brought a few things. We're going to be posting this tomorrow on the TNCC Facebook site. So if any of you guys are interested, I put together some things out of my own personal humidor.
I've seen it. It's a nice humidor.
Thank you. And I'm just pulling this out to show the camera to kind of maybe pique your interest if you're wanting to maybe get some things that aren't as easy to get. We have the Killer Bee Connecticut, the Shere Khan, the Neon Tiger, the Misfit, and Fiend. These 4 here are factory only. You can only get them in Nicaragua unless you know someone who's gone down and brought some back up.
I've known you for years, and
I've never given you any of that.
You've still never given
right.
me.
And, well, we'll see about that, but probably not.
No, I know.
What we're going to do is put that up on the TNCC page tomorrow for not a raffle, but an auction.
An auction.
And we'd ask people to bid, and the high bid, I'm going to work with you. We'll put it on the post as to what time we're going to cut it off. And I will work with the winner to get with Cigars for Warriors. That money will be donated to CFW, and then I'll send you the cigars.
So you bid on these rare cigars. There's several in there I've wanted to smoke for years.
I guess it would look really bad if I won the auction with a last-minute bid. Our winner is the TNCC Doctor, coming in at the last second.
No, as long as you send them the money and share the cigars with us, everybody's happy.
There's a share the cigars with you part of it.
Well, anybody need a drink?
Man, this is not very brotherly or fraternal.
It's because we don't have Fritz music. We used all our microphone jacks for you guys. We can't play music. I'm used to, Fritz kind of drives the energy in here, and I just have a feeling it's like a Lord of the Flies thing. In about a half hour, we're just gonna be turning on each other.
I hope so. You've earned some credits tonight, Matt.
Called you a rat.
Called me a rat.
I'm already working on alliances.
A snitch?
Remember, Derek, we're in this together.
I'm just teasing.
I know.
We're going to be up here tonight for a good while, and probably for a good while after the microphones are off. So that auction will not be going up in the...
Some of us may never leave here.
It will not be up at 7 a.m.
It will not be in the morning. Let's say mid-afternoonish.
Yeah. I'm not going to paint myself in any corners,
And then we'll set like a 10 p.m. Deadline, maybe.
I'll post it in the Black Label group as well.
So look for it on our page. And then you can find it on the Black Label, which, go ahead and give it a plug. It's a great community on Facebook for fans of Black Label.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
Get to communicate with the brand owners,
right?
With Mr. Derek himself. Tell him a little bit about.
Well, we have our Facebook group page on there called the James Brown BLTC Blackworks page. Just put it in your search on Facebook. You'll find it. It's a really good way to see some new, interesting things that are happening down at our factory in Esteli. It's a great way to see new retailers who have come on board to keep up with your area. There's just a lot of interesting smokers trades that go on there, and other, all the exciting cigar things that you want to see from hopefully a brand that you want to follow.
Sure.
So.
Well, and these brands have become a little cult-like over the last. I mean, especially the small boutique brands. Man, you have some really diehard fans. It's cool.
We feel very fortunate for the fans we have, and we're always recruiting.
It's funny. I check out that page every once in a while, and there's all these guys just smoking their Neon Tigers and their Fiends, and they don't even know Derek.
Well, yeah,
they've never been to the factory.
Dude, our rep in this area, his name, you guys know him, but Ben Holt. He calls me ground control. They're out there on the road. They're the rock stars. They're doing all the hard work. But we have a great team of reps across the country, and I just kind of lay behind the scenes. So,
well, you guys are really good at what you do. So,
thank you. Appreciate that.
So you know about the $1,000 donation from Black Label Trading Company to Cigars for Warriors. You know about the auction tomorrow on our site. That money goes to Cigars for Warriors, and you get yourself some cool cigars. we are going to also give away 4 tickets to Cats Fest, so you can go see what the hell we're talking about. We got 4 general admission tickets to give away tonight. All you got to do throughout the course of the night is leave a comment on this video. You can tell me I'm an asshole. I think we got a few of those last time.
It was more than a few.
My phone.
And no, you can't do it, Derek.
Your neighbors say hi.
Oh, hello, neighbors. Are they distracting you?
Everybody is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good
Tut's
job,
gonna be
guys.
in his own little world over there. That's why I don't like doing his live stuff. He zones out and is so busy.
He always zones out. Now he just has an excuse for not paying attention to us.
Hey!
Hey, lately I've been doing some newer movies, and he's been really like he's been a lot
true.
more. He's been a lot more active and like into things.
Please tell me.
Please
Please tell me you're not, because you're doing the live thing. You're still going to be participating in the, because your critiques are the ones I look forward to the most.
No, I'm going to be silent the entire night.
You're the only nerd we've got here.
Right.
Hey!
Oh, can't say that now either. So yeah, all you got to do to win the what we're gonna do is
Pretty good.
at the end of the show, we're gonna take everyone who left us a comment. We're going to put, and you have to like the TNCC page. So we're going to take all the people that have commented. We're going to put your names into a randomizer, something or other.
Yeah, look at anybody but me.
It'll pull up. It'll pull up 4 names, and we will announce those tomorrow, right before we start the Black Label auction. These tickets aren't cheap. You get a lot for your money, but man, if you get these free, you get a lot for nothing.
And it's a great culture. It's a great community. I mean, everybody there is just really kind of warm. Well, there was like this 6'7" firefighter dude the first year, and the moment we walked through the hotel, he was just like, "Drink, drink."
Yeah, I hadn't done a beer bong.
You were at that one.
Yeah.
Since my Sam Houston days, and man, I literally had showed up 10 minutes later. I'm just doing a beer bong.
So we didn't know, but it was a wonderful community. That's where we met Rev.
And we met Rev
pretty
there.
cool.
Absolutely.
And Rev not only became such a great friend, he married Tut and his wife. He came down and married them in Austin, Texas. We last year broke bread with Rev. We ate at his parents' house with him up in Connecticut. You really meet people at these events that aren't just cigar friends. They're friends.
As Derek pointed out, I met him twice.
And you can see how close we are.
Get your ass to the Drew Diplomat pre-party. You will not regret it. So that's what you got to do to win tickets. Comment, like TNCC page. I'm talking a lot about Cats Fest. You might say, Cade, when is this thing?
Cade, when is this thing?
Cade, where is this thing?
Cade, where is this thing?
I'm glad you asked, Derek. May 23rd through the 26th at Lake Granbury Conference Center in Granbury, Texas. Not Barry, Bury. That's up near Dallas, I believe. Yes. Go right now to catsfestival.com for ticket and hotel information. And again, good luck winning tickets on the show tonight. Doctor, do you wish them good luck?
Absolutely. Good luck for all.
I thought you were going to do that. It's far too soon to tell. Doctor, do you...
You can't make it happen.
I know, it's just haven't seen you in a while.
You can't show note it. You can't show note it.
Live show. I'm so sorry. Well, here's what we do for those of you just joining us to win some tickets. Maybe you haven't seen us before. Every episode we pair a feature film expertly with a craft beer and a premium cigar, and somehow we make the 3 of them work. Tonight, Rev was in charge of picking the movie and the cigar. I guess it all kind of started from your background. If you could tell the folks a little bit about your background as a Mason.
Sure.
I believe you're the first Mason we've ever...
Am I?
Well, we've only actually had one other person on the show. And I don't think Fritz is a Mason. Might be. I don't know.
Yeah, so...
we had that director lady. I think she was like in some secret cabal group.
She could have
Are you
been.
accusing the Reverend of being in a secret cabal?
Did you guys do an Eyes Wide Shut and I didn't know?
Well, you didn't have the password.
is it a password or is it a handshake?
You tell us. You are a longtime Mason.
Yeah, so I joined the Masonic Lodge in Connecticut, where I grew up back when I was 18 years old, so it's a couple years ago. My family has always been part of the Freemasons or the Masonic family, and somewhere along the way, I mean, just, good things good men doing good things, along with women as well as a lot of auxiliary groups. You can Google it and find out more information than I'm going to tell you tonight. But for me, the best thing is it's just people doing good charity, and that fits in tune with who I am. So
It certainly does.
I googled Masons, and it was awesome.
I bet. The cigar. Well, first of all, you picked tonight's film. Originally, you picked the original Revenge of the Nerds because of its fraternity, its brotherhood angle. I couldn't believe we hadn't done that film. It turns out, because I guess they're showing the shit out of it on AMC.
Yeah,
they removed it from all the streaming services when they do that, so we couldn't watch the original Revenge of the Nerds. So tonight we're doing Revenge of the Nerds 2, Nerds in Paradise, which I'm actually kind of glad we did. I hadn't seen it in a long time, and I think we're going to have some fun with it. So that's where you came in with the movie. And then to pair it with, you brought us a cigar actually blended and made by Masons.
Yeah. So this is the Hiram Solomon Lancero, the Traveling Man. And it comes out of a company called Hiram Solomon as well, all that are banded with the Masonic Square and Compass. Started by two brothers, Ed and George, over in New Jersey, who were two brothers that were in lodge together, and they liked cigars, and they just thought up the idea of what would happen if we were to blend our own cigar and do good works with it. You know, any of the profits, a portion of all profits go to Masonic and non-Masonic charities all over the place. And so they came up with all different cigars, different lines that all have names that are related to the Freemason Society or the Freemason, fraternity. So, Entered Apprentice, the Fellow Craft, Master Mason, the Veiled Prophet, the Shriner, and the Traveling Man. And this is probably the newest Vitola in the Traveling Man series.
This one's actually getting a lot of good.
It's getting a lot of press.
A lot of good media out there.
Just came out. In fact, actually, the store where I buy my cigars down at Smoking Bear on the reservation in New York, in Steamsburg, New York, just got it in just earlier this week. So, I
heard they gave you a good deal on these.
Gave a great deal. Rob Crandall's a good guy, but once again, it's just I guess you could say hot off the presses or something like that. So
hot out of the molds.
Hot out of the molds, yeah. So,
all right.
So yeah, and this is also one of my
hot off the cigar press would work too. Sorry.
I also love Lanceros, so that's why this piqued my interest too. I love the smaller, thinner Vitolas.
You've always been a Lancero guy.
Always been a Lancero guy.
I'm hit or miss with them. I either like them or I just throw them out. They don't do anything for me.
Yeah.
It's a tough Vitola to make work. I mean, you've got such limited real estate here to
it's weird aesthetically. I don't like Lanceros. I'm always like, crap. But taste-wise, I found myself liking Lanceros more often than not.
Well, you certainly, Derek, you probably know more about this than I. I mean, it certainly seems like the wrapper plays more of a key component. Because you're getting so much more ratio-wise than you have such little tobacco inside.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
How about that? Nobody's ever said that to me before. So it's a good-looking cigar. Light brown. What is it? Sumatra, Indonesian Sumatra wrapper.
Yeah. So it's a classic Lancero 7x38, and it's manufactured in the Plasencia cigar in Esteli, Nicaragua. Wrapper is an Indonesian Sumatra. Binder's Indonesian, and the filler is a Brazilian. Doctor, you're going to have to help me. Arapiraca, yes. Habano.
What he said.
Yeah, thank you. Habano Jalapa, Habano Ometepe, and Dominican for the filler. So comes in a 30 count box, and the price is I won't tell you.
Yeah, he's a fan of the show. He knows. We will we'll guess price point later on. I'm a sucker for good Sumatra. I like Sumatra wrappers. Derek, y'all's SNR is a Sumatra, is it not?
Yes, it is, and I'll take that opportunity to say we'll be releasing that next month, this year's version. Yeah.
It is my favorite cigar that you guys do.
Well, thank you. Appreciate that. You should look for the Culebra we're putting out. We're only going to do 100 boxes of it. So,
if I can't get one of those other fucking cigars, I'm not going to get that.
Well, you did compliment the humidor, It
is nice. It's one of those temperature controlled cabinets. It's
motherfucker.
It's the best. It's one of the nicest humidors I've ever seen.
It's the best humidor. It's the greatest humidor.
It's
a beautiful, beautiful.
If you ever get invited
humidor.
to a 4th of July party at Mr. Matthews' house, go. It is a rockin' good time.
Thank you.
It was a nice night.
You're invited, Rep.
Hey,
Doctor, I'm not.
Let's get the date on the calendar.
Yeah, that's good.
It's far too soon to tell.
Far too soon to tell you.
Well, Rev, you did good. Anything else you want to tell us about the cigar, about the company?
Once again, I mean, the big piece for me is that they're not only good cigars. You see them all over the place. They're at a lot of Masonic events and conferences and stuff, and they're right along.
Are Masons big cigar guys?
A lot of them are, yeah. I mean, they tend to be guys that are, enjoy different things in life, and I would say that for the fair amount, a lot of Freemasons tend to like cigars. A lot of Shriners like cigars as well. So.
What's the difference between a Shriner and a Mason?
The hat.
Little
the
funny
hat.
hats?
Yeah. So in order to be a Shriner, you need to become a Freemason. But once again,
so you
Shriners do good work.
You transfer from Freemasonry to Shriners?
Yeah, there's like this big conglomerate. Once you become a Freemason, there's a lot of different things to do within the fraternity. So there's.
When do I get to be a stonecutter?
Stonecutter? I can't really talk about that. So, but no.
Do Shriners get to drive those little cars like in their
All the
normal
time.
life, like
Yeah.
to the store and stuff?
They give
He's
you one.
asking too many questions,
He
so
is.
just signal with a left eye blink and say, I believe Louisiana is the Pelican State Doctor.
Okay.
And I'll go ahead and do what has to be
Is that
done.
the code? Okay,
Yes.
good. Yeah.
He knows how to handle me.
Yeah, I believe the little cars and clowns for the circus are absolutely required.
Okay.
Yeah.
I actually brought, I have some Hiram Solomon cigars. I think they had a factory change a year or two ago.
Yeah, so I'm not sure when the new factory, they used to be made in the Dominican Republic.
Uh-huh.
I'm not sure what factory it was, so please Google it. But I know that I think in the last year and a half, they've all been made in Placencia.
Okay, well, these were prior to that.
Yeah, correct.
And I'd gotten some, and they were kind of different sizes. We couldn't really do them on the show. But I did bring some Shriners, if anybody would like a Shriner cigar.
Shriner's a Toro, right? Was that a Toro? Yeah.
Oh, I thought you actually brought some Shriners.
Yeah.
They drive in their
They
cars.
come in little cars.
Start circling around us. That would be awesome. Okay. Well, Rev, thanks for doing your homework.
Hey, doing the best I can.
I got one more question for
Sure.
you. If God were a vehicle, what would he be?
I got enough problems with God on when I'm doing this show without
Probably a
all this.
Honda. I'm going to guess a good, sporty, responsible Honda crossover, SUV kind of. Very responsible.
A
right?
Honda SUV.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Okay.
A Honda Pilot.
A Honda Pilot.
Yeah.
Wrong.
Oh,
the correct
okay.
answer is an ice cream truck.
An ice cream truck.
Yep. Because brings joy to all those who discover him.
Oh.
What are we drinking yet? Please.
The New Belgium Liquid Paradise IPA.
Oh, Nerds in Paradise IPA.
It's
See-
from
see how that
their
works?
Voodoo Ranger series. Yes, as you just said, Nerds in Paradise. So this one, it's limited for their Voodoo Ranger series. It's 7.8% ABV and it's only 44 IBUs, which after drinking a little bit, I'm surprised. I figured as an IPA, especially American, that it would be a little bit higher, but
It actually tastes a little higher.
it does. But they're saying it's pretty low. New Belgium, of course, most well known for producing Fat Tire. All too often, people actually confuse the two, thinking that they're separate, but actually, New Belgium is the brewery that actually produces Fat Tire beer that everybody loves. Originally started in 1991 by co-founders Jeff LeBeche and Kim Jordan.
Were they one of the 3 craft beers at the Peach Pit?
Yes, the 6
Yeah, they had
microbrews.
6 microbrews.
Yes.
Back in Not 2-0, David Silver was really bragging. They had all 6 national microbrews.
Nice.
That would have been New Belgium, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Yes.
Good call, that.
They got the idea for doing this because they actually did a bike tour through Belgium, and just went basically riding through all the breweries, just drinking beer and taking notes. And they came back to the States. They got to work and have grown leaps and bounds over the years. As of 2017, and they were the 4th largest craft brewer and the 8th largest overall brewery in the United States.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, and from their 2016 numbers, they produced over 957,000 barrels for the various labels. So
It's a lot of beer.
it is a lot of beer, which means I'm just not drinking enough.
I've been asking you to drink more. Okay, do you guys like
We'd
it?
all made a New Year's resolution to drink more.
I thought we were all on board with that.
I can tell you that in 2000 and something, New Belgium sponsored. They have a bike race. Have you guys heard of it? The Tour de Fat.
Yes.
And have you guys, any of you guys done that?
I'm not that heavy.
No.
I need to lose weight. I get it.
We get it, Derek.
It almost killed me, but it was a lot of fun. If it often comes down through Austin. If you guys get a chance, I would definitely recommend. It's a lot of fun.
They actually, in the early 2000s, also sponsored a film I directed. It was an independent film, and we reached out. There's a lot of beer drinking in it. We reached out to...
Both on and off.
This is like 2002, 3. So we reached out to all the beer companies we could find. There wasn't, a million like there are now. And they sponsored the film. They shipped literally, you guys saw it.
That was
hundreds of cases of Fat Tire. We had a whole hotel room just filled with Fat Tire.
I was about to say, I've heard stories where you open the hotel room and it's nothing but case after case out.
We paid people with beer. We slept. We formed cases into furniture. They gave us the Fat Tire, like the Pee Wee Herman bike. They gave us one of those. They gave us neon signs. They were awesome. Them and Subway. Subway also sponsors. They gave us free lunch every day. Do you guys like the beer?
I like it.
Yep.
It's refreshing.
It is refreshing, especially now that it's starting to get a little bit warmer in Texas. It was a little surprisingly warm today. And so as soon as I hit the pub, I was like, refreshing springtime beers. That's all I want.
It's got a little floral on the nose.
I was picking up a little citrus.
Yeah, and a little citrus on the
good point, Todd. This would be a good warm weather beer.
It's good cold.
I think I'm tasting a little pine sol.
That initial scent out of the pour was a little cleanser.
That is something I had Derek put in your glass when you weren't looking.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I had something put in my glass last night. My daughter gave me floor cleaner tablets instead of Alka-Seltzer.
Oh.
True story.
As a joke?
We can move on. No, that really happened.
No, let's get the heat off me. Let's talk about you and your
How was that?
The first sip, you knew it wasn't Alka-Seltzer. Yeah.
Yikes.
I was actually on a call with a Skype call on Angela. She saw it happen live and was like, "Oh my God, do we need to call the hospital?" Like, I don't think you can do that from Nicaragua.
Wow. Okay. I like it. You, doctor?
Yes, very nice, smooth taste.
What do you guys think of the cigar?
Really like that. It's right off the bat, you get like a creamy vanilla kind of taste a little bit.
It is creamy. I am getting a little bit of creaminess. I got mint on the cold draw, which I get every once in a while. A little faint mint. But some herbs.
My palate must be all out of whack because I'm not getting any. Well, I never get any cream, but I'm definitely not getting any mint.
I'm not getting it on once we lit up. It was just on the cold draw. I'm just getting some real kind of mild earth.
A little cocoa, kind of like a little dryness, kind of,
and just a little bit of cream. You getting some cocoa, a little bit of chocolate?
Just a little. Definitely the milky.
What about you, Yagboy?
Definitely picking up that cream. It was very, I don't know, it's kind of odd. Maybe just my palate this evening. I mean, just before I lit up, I was getting very sort of a leathery aroma.
Yeah.
Just spread out. No mint or anything like that, but the cream, and I'm just sweetness, but I can't say what.
A little bit of sweetness there. Okay.
I got a little bit of fruit on the cold draw. That was definitely where that sweetness was.
Papaya?
Yeah. Well, no, I thought it was more like
grapes.
Doctor?
Really, just that kind of cream vanilla kind of taste. It didn't get any mint. Nothing overly sweet. I really like it.
I'm not getting. I think something might be going on with you, Yak Boy. You've been getting sweetness and everything lately.
I don't know.
He was freebasing when I showed up earlier.
I too had a slight, communion bread. Do you guys know communion bread? It's like a slight communion.
A little bit of communion bread on there?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. I'll come back. We're all just barely into this thing. I'll come back to it. Let me introduce
my communion bread was not good, so I'm not gonna say that. It was kind of like stale cracker communion bread.
Mine was crackers. Those little wafer things.
Oh, maybe that makes sense. Stale communion with some little grape. That's good.
He put that in your head.
Oh, okay.
You've never in 92 episodes mentioned communion wafers as a tasting.
Oh, I've been to communion once or twice.
Are we already at 92?
Yeah, 92 episodes. Can you believe it?
Wow. Yeah. I drive a lot.
And we're still alive.
And I think I'm in the 60s somewhere. Boy, I need to catch up.
Yeah, I bet a week an episode would get you through most of a work week.
Well, these are pretty marathon. We're going at least 3:45 minimum per show. Yeah.
We've tried hard lately to keep it right around 3 or under. I think last one was actually.
I don't begrudge it at all, by the way.
We're working on it. We'll see how tonight goes.
We're off to a hot start.
Jeez. Wow. It is odd though not having the music, isn't it?
It is. It really is.
Take me back to paradise.
It's throwing me off.
Problem solved.
To paradise.
Can you do the Lamar rap, please, when the time comes? Please.
I'm afraid it's far too early to tell.
Yes.
You just made Derek's night and mine. Okay. Well, yeah, it's just a different energy without the music. But a couple more beers.
Clap your hands, everybody! Everybody, clap your hands. Sorry.
Todd, is Facebook working fine? We got an audience.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
A lot of people have been asking Derek questions, and I'm like, I don't want to interrupt the show, but Derek's got a lot of fans out there.
Oh. Well, Derek, like a good VIP guest, shared the shit out of that we were doing this tonight.
Not well, though. You helped me this morning. Thank you.
He didn't tell him where to go.
Well, no, I tried. I just couldn't link it, and you sent me a PM. You have to put an @ in front of it.
Yeah, well, he taught me that last week.
Yeah, see? Hey.
Yeah.
And then Rev's got some fans, and I'm still looking for our fans, but
basically everyone but us.
Pretty much, yeah. But
Internet, eh? All right,
write that down.
But no, it's going fine. It's going fine.
All right, as long as someone's out there. Well, it needs to be said. The film tonight is 1987's Revenge of the Nerds 2: Nerds in Paradise. It needs to be said that there is a precedent here for us jumping ahead and skipping the original film. We did Shark Attack 3 without doing Shark Attacks 1 and 2. We did Chainsaw Massacre 2 and skipped over 1. We've done this before.
Death Wish.
This isn't the first time by a long shot that we've skipped the initial entry in a series and gone straight to a sequel.
And I'm kind of glad that we did. Like you said, it had been a while since
I told the doctor, I was
like,
I don't know when I would sit down and watch this again.
I feel like the film stands on its own without part 1.
It does. It kind of does. It helps to know the backstory with their thing against Adams, but it can be a standalone. And in my opinion, it might be a little bit more of a wholesome story.
It was rated PG-13. My daughter was in the room, and we said, "Sure, you can watch this." And it probably should not.
Was that before or after she poisoned you?
That was after.
Okay.
She probably should not have been rated PG-13.
If I let my kids watch these movies we do, I would have been poisoned 3 years ago. That's.
She asked me today, "Are you feeling okay, Daddy?" She felt bad.
Of course she did. Good kid.
Well, she knows about the life insurance policy too, so let's not take it.
Now we're getting complicated.
She was sharpening a knife while you feeling all right there, Dad?
Hey, our old barmaid Nada just snuck in here and waved hi.
Okay, this is 2019. Can you even say barmaid?
Barmaiden.
Oh, thank you.
Is that allowed?
Sure.
Bartender. That's neutral.
Drink bringer.
Drink bringer.
Ma'am.
I don't think.
Unless it's sir.
I don't think you're allowed to say ma'am anymore.
Let's not go there.
Directed this time around.
Tut, you're worse than Hitler.
I just feel like there's something that's going to happen tonight. I can feel it building.
Yeah, there's a strong energy in the air.
Yeah,
Up on that
I think it's going to be Rev. He's going to say something that's just going to leave jaws on the floor. It wouldn't be the first time.
Right.
But unlike Derek, I don't tell tales out of school. I'm not going to rat you out here.
What goes on in counseling session stays in counseling session.
It does. And I should mention, you are my go-to. You are a voice of sound reason in the night when I need it.
Hello, Doc.
Oh, let's get in the movie before I have to hear more about your therapy.
Oh, did I say all that out loud? Okay.
A lot of interesting things being unveiled.
No, Doctor, I still tell you a lot of stuff too.
I guess we found out the real pecking order around here.
Directed this time around by Joe Roth, working off a screenplay by Dan Gunselman, It's an unfortunate name. And Steve Marshall. This film was released 3 years after the original debuted in theaters. That was 1984. Boys, ready to start? Anything, real quick, before I'm going to get into this movie hardcore, anything on the cigar you want to mention?
I like it.
I am getting some of the real milk chocolate that the Rev had mentioned. And it's still just kind of creamy. Just getting that creamy.
Yeah.
It's a nice burn.
Mm-hmm.
It's got some construction and a nice
Man,
almond note for mine.
You got an almond note? The construction, yeah. When the cold draw was just like the perfect amount of air coming through. Considering Rev, these just came off the plane with you. Not
They were on the wing, so a lot of air was going through this.
Just the
Best
right
place
amount
for
of
it.
give
Best
between
place,
the fingers. Really firm but not too firm.
Yeah.
Kind of like some of the beach babes in tonight's movie. Huh? It's PG-13. I'm so sorry. That's as risque as I'm going to get tonight.
Okay.
You're welcome, Tud. Is your mom watching?
No.
Does she
My
know-
wife is, though.
Does she know you do the podcast?
Well, she found out last year.
Yeah, my mom still doesn't know.
Yeah.
Do you want me to tell
We just started talking 2 weeks ago, but it was pretty good.
I told her it was the guy that looks like me, Dan Gunselman, who also wrote tonight's movie. Yeah, a little milk chocolate, a little cream. I'm getting a little faint earth, and it's construction-wise really, really well. It's a slow-burning smoke.
Not a whole lot of smoke, though.
Not a lot of smoke production, but it's 38 ring gauge. How much? Okay.
It's not to get too far ahead, but several of the actors that returned for Nerds 2 had a little bit of contention with Joe Roth. He apparently...
He's a big Hollywood big shot now.
He became like the head of production at Fox right after this, and they felt like he was given this movie to just get the set experience, as opposed to the Jeff Canu that directed the first one.
Yeah.
They said Roth was really like, his whole thing was let's get it done on time and under budget, and didn't really... Which
I'm surprised at Tut and Derek's enthusiasm for this film, because I saw that in the motion picture. I mean, this thing was made... I didn't get any kind of sense of...
This is a staple of late 80s sequels, which we've seen a ton of in horror movies. It doesn't necessarily mean a movie is going to be good or bad.
I'm not saying the movie's bad. I'm just saying there was clearly some passion behind the original.
You had a hit movie. We have this property that the studio owns. Let's crank out a sequel and see if we can strike it again.
This thing was just color by numbers sequel. Boom. Any charm, anything that works on this is just because of the actors on screen.
Exactly.
It's a
But I
shitty
mean,
screenplay.
that alone can save a movie.
It can. But it's a lazy screenplay, lazy direction. So luckily, you've got some nerds to hopefully put on a good show. Speaking of nerds, we start things off.
Are you talking about us or the movie? I don't know.
No, I would never call you guys that.
Well, I know he's talking about me. I don't know if he's talking about you or not.
We'll get to who's a nerd and who's not later. I'm gonna do like the thing and tie you guys up to your chairs and
do the blood test.
give you trivia and see who wigs out. We start things off with a shot of deep space, where a giant pocket protector slowly soars past us across the screen, and a Star Wars style text scrolls and narration begins. Was this narrator the guy from Running Man?
I think it was.
It sounded like the guy from the Stoned Age.
I could have swore it's the guy in the booth at the Running Man, but I looked on IMDb. He's not. They don't list that as anything.
Her confidant, her lover.
That I'm telling you, that's this dude. So here's what it says across the screen, Star Wars style. In 1984, the nerd revolution began on the campus of Adams College. Despite prejudice, persecution, and painful pummeling, the members of Lambda 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 fraternity overcame the powerful Alpha Betas and gained control of the Greek Council. It was a victory that underdogs throughout the world would always remember. It was a defeat the Alpha Betas would never forget. Now the Trilambs face their next challenge. As representatives of Adams, they prepare to join delegates from across the nation at the United Fraternity Conference in legendary Fort Lauderdale. It is a time for fraternity leaders to discuss the philosophy of brotherhood, to set guidelines for their organizations, and to get laid. First of all, that's a great opening voiceover, am I right? Second, I see why Rev picked this film. Big part of the Masons establishing a philosophy of brotherhood. There's very, I think, rules, very guidelines, structured. This is nerds and Masons.
Nerds and Masons.
Is Fort Lauderdale still a thing?
I don't know how
People still
legendary
go there?
it ever was.
Oh, it was back in our day.
I think it's still.
Wait. You guys reviewed. What was the one that was at Fort Lauderdale that I Netflixed to make sure I watched it and saw the.
Did we do
Hard
something?
Bodies? Was that Fort Lauderdale?
We didn't do Hard Bodies. We did.
You must be thinking
Bikini Summer, Bikini Car Wash.
Bikini
Some of the
ski
other
school,
AFI
bikini
top 100
lifeguards,
films
bikini.
that you-
Bikini tax accountants, bikini fast food.
Right in between All the Kingsmen and Schindler's List.
Bikini tax accountants too.
Yeah, we've done a lot of.
I'm pretty sure Fort Lauderdale's still a thing.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's still a big spring break.
It's still
Is it?
city.
thing.
Okay.
Okay. Have you ever been to Fort Lauderdale? Anybody?
Yeah.
Have you?
Yeah.
Do you like it?
Well, of course, my parents didn't take me for spring break, so we went like in August when it was like so damn hot and there was nobody there.
Yeah. Good thing your parents aren't watching right now after that little slam you just gave them.
Paradise. Ooh, take that to paradise.
Rob,
No, my parents were like when Padres, big huge beach city in Texas. Everybody goes down to Padre Island. Well, that's South Padre. For spring break, my parents are like, we're going to Padre. And I'm like, oh, yeah, MTV is doing a show at Padre, and it's going to be on. No, we went camping at North Padre, so it was nothing but sand dune and crabs, and not the good kind of crabs. It was just bleh.
Man, Fritz, do you see what happens when you're not here? Dude, this is so negative.
this is just turning into
God, everyone's just getting rid of all their past bitterness.
Let me tell you about the time my parents took me to vacation.
Oh, great.
I
Now
got
I'm
crabs.
in therapy.
You were talking about your crabs you got with your parents in vacation.
Tell you about that time in summer camp, Cade climbed into my sleeping bag after lights out.
All right. Can we get Fritz? Can you rewire some things, Tut?
Take me to paradise.
Scotty from Star Trek. Make it happen, man.
I'm giving it off to Scott Cade.
I feel like we're about to start singing The Weight.
Yeah. Rev, the voiceover mentioned painful pummelings. Are there any painful pummelings involved in the Mason initiation rituals?
I really can't talk about that, but
You can blink twice, or just say Cade.
Cade,
Louisiana is the Pelican State.
Louisiana is the Pelican State.
There are painful pummelings.
Cade, can I see you downstairs, please?
No, it's live. We can't take breaks.
No, there's no
Did you guys put on your
pummeling.
diapers?
There's no pummeling. It's just.
By the way, feel
all
free
good
to
work.
use the facilities when you need to.
Rev actually almost talked us into joining the Masons, and I'm still considering.
I think it's a great group. Good people, good guys.
Well, you certainly represent them well. You think they'd take Derek?
Absolutely.
Thanks. Appreciate that.
I'd vouch for him. I'd vouch for
You
you.
vouched for me before.
Sure.
Is that how
You have.
it works? You gotta you get nominated
Yeah.
or
So if you notice on the band, I forgot to ask this one too, but there's this little code right underneath the square and compass there, and says to,
Yeah, I was going to
to
ask
be
about
one,
that.
ask one. And the only way you can become a Freemason is to ask to be one. They don't recruit. So if you want to, some of the guys that come in here to the pub, if you wanted to join, you would go ahead and ask, and then they would send in,
it's a social
team
organization. They want you to prove you're social.
It's that simple.
Yep.
It's that simple.
Being at the pub isn't
I never
enough.
knew. I've been standing outside of that building for like 15 years now.
Just got to ask.
And everybody
I mean,
looks
they're
at
going
me
to interview
and
you,
just-
and then somebody will vouch for you, and it's
Okay.
that you're a man of good character. So
I've
They're
never
actually-
asked because I'm afraid of pummelings.
well,
They're-
there's no pummeling. No pummeling. Just,
No, of course not.
I'm not sure I want to belong to an organization that doesn't have pummelings.
That would be the Stonecutters. But you need a recommendation from the Egg Council.
Got to you too. No, there's actually a Mason lodge across the street from O'Brien's Irish pub in downtown historic Temple, Texas, and those fellows come in here and they seem like great guys. Sit outside, have a few cigars. I kind of look at them talking like as friends and listening. We're out in the deck out front and listen to some of their conversation. I'm like, God, That's what normal friends talk about.
They have friendship that goes beyond substances.
Man.
Whoa.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy.
Apparently Derek lives in some kind of crazy fantasy place.
I'm sorry. I need alcohol to deal with these guys. Don't ruin that.
Sorry.
We then, after the scroll ends, we cut to an opening montage where our favorite gang of nerds are packing up for their epic adventure to legendary Fort Lauderdale.
Let's get it going.
Do you think Fort Lauderdale Chamber of Commerce let them film there, but you gotta call us legendary in there? Who the hell calls Fort Lauderdale legendary?
Oh, I think it was like a legendary spring break.
Is that where the movie
It was
Spring
like
Break took
it was
place?
a big deal. That
I don't
Daytona.
remember that, but there was an Onion article a few years ago where they did Joe Biden, and it was talking about when he was a 43-year-old senator, and it was the crazy summer of '87. You remember that one? He was talking about how he just went down there and drank and scored chicks all the time. That was Fort Lauderdale.
Okay, all right.
Not the Hillsborough Chamber of Commerce. Then.
Not the Hillsborough.
No. Derek.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, we see head nerd Lewis returning from the first film. He's all ready to go. He's putting his pocket protector, and he's looks in the camera and does his signature laugh. Tut, you want to give it to us? There you go.
I love this dude, man. I'm sorry.
Poindexter is back.
Thank
Timothy
God.
Busfield. We see him packing his 36 prescription medicine bottles and a roll of toilet paper. Lamar Luttrell has returned. He makes sure not to forget his Hot Bods 1987 calendar, which, by the way, I was Mr. October in.
No, that
Was
Wayne
that John?
Jackmore.
Was that John Oates?
I mean,
on the
whoever
cover?
it was. That,
I'm pretty sure that was John Oates on the cover.
Was it John Oates?
I think so. No, it wasn't.
No, I didn't look at it that carefully.
Oh yeah, like I'm the only one who looked at Hot Bods magazine and the scene. I'm a professional. I look at the
hard hat and a
scenes.
little carpenter belt, and I didn't really look at his face.
I'm a professional.
That sounded worse.
I look over every frame.
I wasn't looking at his face.
Not that there's anything wrong with
Wasn't
it.
making any eye contact. Take me back to paradise.
One of our new nerd recruits, the Adams College freshman Wormser, packs a wallet full of fake IDs, and not just driver's license, like fake, like CIA, like he's doing it all.
An admiral. Yeah.
And then old Booger, we see Booger, Curtis Armstrong, pack an old pair of dirty jeans in a bag and 1,000 rubbers, some open,
Some in a package, some not.
some
He
packaged,
was ready
some
to go.
not. He just wants to make sure he's covered, literally,
Practicing safe sex.
which is good. Tuesday Night Cigar Club is pro safe sex.
We are. And we are pro being prepared, and that's what Booger was doing. He was preparing for his epic adventure in legendary Fort Lauderdale.
Yes, he was.
When he realized he didn't have enough room for all of the stuff that he needed, he took some clothes out and
It's just a
Kept the
big
rubbers.
bag
He
full
took
of
one pair
rubbers.
of jeans out, and and then we find poor old Gilbert. Remember him, Anthony Edwards, in a leg cast. He hurt himself playing chess. Nerd joke. What does Lewis say? Man, it was a tricky move.
Oh, don't be so hard on yourself, Gilbert. That was a tricky move.
So he won't be joining his brothers in legendary Fort Lauderdale.
Question about that. Do you think Anthony Edwards' lack of participation in this film to the level it was in the first was due to the Top Gun pre-post?
Well, here's the thing. In those
Absolutely.
in those 3 years since the first one, he did The Sure Thing with John Cusack, who our friend Jonathan Roberts wrote, I believe.
yes, correct.
Then he did Gotcha
Right.
by the same director as the original Revenge of the Nerds. And then he had the breakthrough of Top Gun. He did not want to do this movie. He didn't want to appear in this movie at all. They finally talked him into doing this half-ass cameo in
Yeah, it
this
was
thing.
very evident.
And he calls it his swimming pool movie because the money he made from his little nothing scenes, he bought a swimming pool with.
Well, damn it, Goose, stop being a dick and just show up and do the damn film.
But I mean, talk about a misstep. Go all in on this film. You might as well have, because guess what?
Be
you really
professional.
didn't do shit till ER in '94.
He didn't know that at the time, though. He's just coming off Top
He
Gun.
was
It's a
big.
huge
He was
movie.
big.
Tom Cruise turned him into a
I'm
huge
sorry,
star.
Goose is my favorite character.
No
in
one's going to
Tom Gun.
value you
Well,
more than
Jester.
yourself. You got to be. I'm better than this. I get it.
Yeah.
But then I just think it's ironic between that and ER. I mean, the guy didn't jack.
Yeah, you're right. It was a bad career move, but at the time, I can see his thinking.
No, I totally can. But then
yeah,
I'm like,
but I mean, if you're going to, I'm sorry,
so
if you're going
to, what did he pass on this for? And I'm looking, and it's like,
I'm sorry,
Pet Cemetery 2 with Eddie Furlong. From
if you're going to show
Terminator
up,
2, I'm like,
if you're going to show up, if you're going to take the money, be a professional.
Well, he did. I mean, he did his scenes.
So how much of this is self-serving or not, I don't know. But Armstrong, he claims that he turned it down twice.
Wow.
You
And
read his book.
I did read Curtis Armstrong's book. Huge chapter on the original film. He does another chapter on the sequels. Said he didn't want to do it. He said he didn't like the script.
A lot of the guys said that.
Each time he turned it down, they offered him more money. And then the story that he told was he got hoodwinked by some. The way he writes it is you see it as like a Simpsons character, a typical studio hotshot executive. He said the guy brought him in and he was like, "So Curtis, what's the problem? You don't want to do this movie? What, not enough money?" And he said, "I was caught off guard. I didn't have my agent with me." He's like, "No, the money's fine." And he was like, "So that was the first stupid thing I did." And he was like, "So what's the problem?" And he was like, "Well, it's just I don't really like the script." And he said, the guy went, "Oh, is that it? We're not going to shoot this script right here. No, come on, don't worry about it. So we're bringing in a writer to fix this."
Dan Gunselman.
No. He totally lies to him. He's all, "Oh, who are you bringing in?" "Oh, Larry Gelbart from MASH." Like one of the huge all-time TV sitcom comedy writers.
Yeah.
Like that's what he tells him. He's all, "Larry Gelbart's going to come and fix this." "Oh, we're not shooting this. Come on, man." And he's like, "Oh, okay, I'll take it." Of course, I never even talked to Larry Gelbart.
Yeah.
He said he fell for it and did the movie, but I think he got some decent scratch out of it.
They just had Gunselman do another pass on him.
And Armstrong, kind of in the same boat Anthony Edwards was in. He had just gotten the role on Moonlighting, so he was going to get a steady network TV check, so he really didn't. He was thinking he was going on to bigger and better things. And,
yeah. Which Moonlighting was certainly better than this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But apparently that's the story that he got fed.
Derek and I were chatting a little bit about Moonlighting the other night. I think we're both. It's my top 3 TV shows of all time, but Derek seems like a fan too. And then we're talking about the Curtis Armstrong years because there was so much downtime when Sybil Shepherd was pregnant and kind of disappeared from the show, and they kind of relied on Curtis Armstrong and his love interest, Agnes DePesto, to kind of, at least Beasley, to fill those voids, and they kind of had their own little adventures. And man, Armstrong brings it. I mean,
you guys would love this book. So I'll tell you what, when I get home tomorrow, I'll step outside and throw it in the general direction of the pub.
Hit Tut in the head with it. He has enough anger towards Curtis Armstrong. That'll just.
I'll just go ahead and I'm a little bit biased. Curtis Armstrong, I have tried to get on this show. He has turned me down. I have tried to be pleasant. And I mean,
now I'm taking a different tack.
Did you try to tell him he'd have a different producer?
I can't, because apparently the judge says I can no longer talk to Curtis Armstrong. I'm fine with that.
To say his name, actually.
I love artist Armstrong.
C. Armstrong. That's too obvious.
C. Armstrong.
Curtis A.
I get the feeling though that
I love C. Armstrong. I'm sorry. He's like a just a nerd demigod, and there's not a lot of things that I'm going to bash him for. I wish he would have come onto this show. I'm not going to say the reason why he didn't want to come on this show. I think we've.
Well, we can still probably get him if we just go with the other tack. There, we're not going to do that show. We're going to do a different show.
Curtis, you're not going on Tuesday Night Cigar Club.
It's not going to be those 3 guys.
Oh man,
it's going to be Conan O'Brien.
I was going to surprise you with Curtis Armstrong as our special guest tonight, but you know what?
Derek, get out of here.
I chose Reverend Derek. And you guys have not disappointed.
I will say that
how much money did Curtis Armstrong donate to Cigars for Warriors?
Yeah, how much did Curtis Armstrong donate to Cigars for Warriors?
He hasn't.
Which is a good segue, because I think if you wanted Curtis Armstrong on the show, you'd need to donate some money to Curtis Armstrong.
We kind of got that.
I think that
Curtis would need a donation in his pocket too.
He now does a voice on American Dad. We know they get a ton of money for doing voiceovers. He was on the TV show Supernatural, which is still running. I imagine his agent probably says, if anybody asks you to do anything,
Hey, if some podcaster sends you an instant message on Twitter.
I'm just saying, if you said we'd like to talk to you for 45 minutes over Skype, we're going to give you $3,000. It might have been interesting to see what he would have said. That's just the cynical part of me. But to get
that's
back
our beer
to
budget for a month.
Yeah. To get back to the part about who's in the film and all that. according to Armstrong, they also wanted Julia Montgomery to be Betty Childs.
Betty Childs, yes.
And to basically be in the movie even less than Anthony Edwards. They wanted to bring her back so they could show a scene of her having sex with some jock guy at the beginning of the movie, so that
She
Lewis,
said, no, that's not what Betty would do.
That's not what Betty would do.
Wow.
She stood her ground.
They also probably weren't going to offer a lot of money.
Yeah.
But the whole thing was that way they can cut Lewis free to go have chicks.
Pursue the new chick.
I'm gonna get. You know what? Let's address that later. I'm gonna get to why she's even mentioned in this film in just a little bit.
Because one of the things
Good insight, Bob.
he packs on the trip is the picture of
A framed
Betty Childs.
picture
Well,
of
real
Betty
quick,
Childs.
Joe Roth apparently went to Armstrong and he said you were pals with her on the first movie, because he talks about how they all partied together, and would he call her and try to get her to do this one scene where she's basically getting rammed in the shower by an alpha beta, and that's it. And while we all would have liked to have seen that, Armstrong claims that he called her but put his own spin on it, and that she has never regretted not being in Nerds 2.
And she was in 3 and 4.
Right.
She certainly had no problem coming back for those. So apparently the script just had a stench on it like a monkey. You just couldn't. Nobody wanted to play ball here.
I am so weirded out that I'm like fine with this project.
Well, let's get in. Let's figure out real quick, Rev.
Yep.
I'm not halfway.
Yep.
Like I said, it's a slow burn smoke, but I am maybe getting into the beginning of the middle third, boosting strength. The retro hail started to get a little bit. I didn't get any spice early on in the retro hail. Now it's kind of presenting itself.
Spice.
Glad you pointed that out, because I got the same on a retro ale.
Yeah, just suddenly it just kind of went up a notch. I like that.
Not as much cream, not as much. I mean, still it's there, but it's not as much.
Yeah, much more. Just kind of earthiness. I think it's that Ometepe. But the strength on the spice on the nose, I wasn't expecting that. It's nice.
That's
it's nice
a good
little,
communion bread too. I mean, that's really
Yeah?
That's where it's, that's absolutely.
Is it wrong in church when you get the wafer to squirt sriracha on it? Just kind
It
of
depends on the
spice it up.
church. It depends on the church. Some I've been to, it's okay, but you really want to ask the minister or the priest ahead of time.
Make sure he's cool with it.
Absolutely.
He pushes out like a little cart, like from a Subway thing, where you've got different things you can put on it.
Right.
I'd like some spinach, maybe some black olives.
Absolutely.
Just squirting all sorts of sauces all over the place. Yak Boy, you liking the cigar?
I am.
Are you gonna look? You're not quite where we are with the.
No.
I'm telling you, man. About a half an inch from now, you're gonna get some really nice spice on the nose.
I'm looking forward to that.
That sounds
I
familiar.
agree with Rev here. It's that flavor for what you just want to call the communion wafer.
Yeah.
So we're sticking with the
bread,
communion
little-
wafer, huh? Okay.
Yep.
Well, I couldn't say
Without
that
giving
it's
too
just
many
like it
details
tastes like
away, that's not
crackers over
something
here.
I'm really going to know anything about.
You liking it, Doctor?
Very much so, yes.
You're actually a little bit ahead of me, Derek. Did you get a kick up in spice?
I haven't picked up on more spice. What I've noticed is it's transitioned more from that almond flavor I was getting earlier to it, just that more kind of consistent Nicaraguan spice. Yeah,
The Ometepe?
I wouldn't go.
jalapa?
I wouldn't say that.
The jalapa?
I would say maybe the jalapa.
I knew it. Tut, what about you? You liking it?
No,
No. Not working for you.
It's not.
Why not?
It's a good presentation. It's a good draw. It's a well constructed cigar. I'm just I'm searching for the flavors. Y'all are sitting there saying all these cool things, and I'm like, I'm not getting any of them. I am getting a little bit of wafer, but I'm sorry. When I listened to wafers from church, they weren't that flavorful. I'm missing it, and I don't know if it. I mean, it could be something with my palate. It could be something that the beer is just totally outshined on
the
me.
beer's actually working okay with it.
Yeah.
Because the beer's not that flavorful kind of...
No, I mean, it's a standard run-of-the-mill
it's
IPA.
kind of a basic IPA.
Yeah.
A little bit floral, a little citrus, but nothing crazy.
I find this IPA, maybe it's just, I drink a lot of big IPAs, and I find this IPA to be dialed back, but when I'm hearing you guys talk, it's not that it's dialed back, it's that it's... Maybe I need to be trying more IPAs that aren't known for
Double IPAs?
punching you in the face, yeah.
Yeah, I'm a big double IPA guy, too.
You're definitely not drinking enough, Derek.
Yeah.
You need to up the alcoholism over there.
Listen to your doctor.
No, you're doing fine.
He is my doctor.
He will be after the show, trust me.
Another patient secured.
Derek,
Medicare number.
Derek, I'm a big double IPA guy too. I love to get kicked in the teeth with hops and all
Do
that.
you like to smoke big IPA? I mean, do you like to drink big IPAs with cigars, though? Because
Yeah.
I don't. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it.
If I'm reviewing a cigar, no.
Okay.
That's not fair to the cigar.
Right.
But if I'm have a window to enjoy, I'm going to enjoy the beer I want and the cigar I want. I don't give a damn.
But sometimes it is fun to get one of those double Ajero bastards and throw it off on a thick IPA and just let them fight it out.
Yeah.
Because when that strength pumps up on the strength pumps up on that double Ajero, and then once you get that nice little, especially if you're going around close to that double digit ABV, it gets a little fun.
I think of it like, I don't know why, but it comes to mind like boxers, right? Like you have a fighter who's trained, the guy that, what's the El Chocolito from Nicaragua, very well trained, a lot of finesse.
Technique versus power.
And then you put him in the ring with a Mike Tyson or somebody, which is that double IPA, and it's like, what are we, I can't do it.
Yeah, you have to be very careful with your cigar pairings because there's a lot of times to where, the cigars will offer you so many flavors and so many transitions, and what you really want to do is you want to pair it with something that's going to either augment or pull flavors out. You don't want anything. You don't either want your cigar or your drink to just absolutely dominate. You want them to kind of either complement or get out of the way.
That is the correct answer. What I said earlier was ironic because we do a pairing podcast. The worst answer I could. If I get a few hours, I'm going to drink what I want to drink. I'm going to smoke what I want to smoke. I don't give a damn how they pair together. Yes.
We call that the 4th of July party.
What you said, Tut,
Thank you.
you said quite eloquently. But yeah, no, I actually think they're playing really nice together. And I should mention construction. It's a little stack of dimes there.
Spot on. Yeah.
Spot on. Okay, well, I'll come back to it. I'm about halfway through. As the nerds arrive at the airport via courtesy ride from Lewis's dad, the always game Jimmy Cromwell.
Thank you. Thank you.
Nice turn.
Oh, he wasn't going to turn this down. He's in all the sequels, man. I think he has fun in these movies.
Yeah.
They're immediately spotted when they get out of the airport by Ogre. Nerds. Once again, played by the awesome Donald Gibb. He's still alive.
Thank God.
Yeah, he's still around.
That's actually an amazing thing.
He was doing a bunch of those credit card commercials where they had Vikings.
The Vikings, yes.
yeah.
The Vikings, man. I forgot about that.
Oh. I tried to actually get him also as a special guest tonight, but
Oh, you should have sicked me on it, man.
I wanted Derek. Got Derek.
I appreciate that. You needed somebody to insult.
I'm not insulting Ogre. Podcasters. It's like that. You think he's like that in normal life? I doubt it. He's an actor. Once inside the airport terminal, they're ushered straight to their plane, as they are indeed VIPs. As Booger explains, very immense penises.
Can I say something here?
Yes, you can.
Please.
The whole PG-13 versus rated R. Again, I said my daughter was in the room for this movie.
How old is your daughter?
She's 11. Well, she'll be 12 this summer.
Okay.
And she turned to me and she said, I didn't know nerds could be perverts. And I looked at her and I said, I didn't know you knew what a pervert was.
Oh.
For those of you who have daughters,
Yeah.
Jade,
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody else has
I
daughters.
have cats.
Here.
Yeah.
Cats. It's kind of rewarding to know that your not yet a teenager child knows what to already be looking for. So not to take it down, not to do the Debbie Downer, but
Booger is the ultimate pervert.
he's the ultimate pervert, and he makes this movie.
Oh, without Booger, can you imagine this thing?
No.
What a snooze fest.
I'm not wearing his shirt for nothing.
Yeah, for you folks that watching home, Yak Boy does have his High on Stress shirt,
Which is awesome.
which is, of
It
course,
is
is from the original Revenge of the Nerds.
Which is awesome.
You couldn't find a Who Farted shirt for tonight?
Well, I was really looking for the Greasy Tonys.
Yeah, yeah, that is good when your daughter has recognizes the red flags.
Yeah.
Well, they are
Booger's a red
indeed
flag.
very immense penises. You guys should make a cigar called that at Black
No,
Label.
we should.
The VIP, the TNCC VIP.
TNCC VIP.
You know, we can talk when the cameras are off.
Okay. I think when James was on the show, we pitched that he should make us a cigar called the V So Horny.
You did.
And
that went about as far as the VIP would go.
that went nowhere.
Yeah.
Trademark TNCC. Everybody
that
comes
is
after that,
trademark.
we're Gene
2019.
Simmonsing your ass.
We got V So Horny. Viso is a part of the tobacco plant.
Very good, Kate.
The
You
middle.
are the 11th. Can you say it? I like hearing you
Keep
say
an eye
it.
out for the shirt.
No,
Visa
Derek,
Horny.
I'd appreciate if you would say it, actually.
No, I can't. I can't bring myself to.
You're a VIP.
Matt Cade is the. I'm going to mess it up. Is the 11th greatest acknowledged podcasting.
I was on a list of the 11th greatest cigar palettes in the known universe. I think I was number
That's-
7. I think I was number 7 or 8, actually.
Is it known universe now?
Something like
That's
that.
my cue.
Get this man another beer.
hear this so many times.
Can you pass this down to Cody, please?
And voila, just like
Yes, a
that,
little slice of heaven.
the very immense penises are in Florida. The boys cruise along the beach in an airport limo, ogling at hot beach babes.
I kept waiting for something to go wrong. I mean, they're
Well,
like,
I thought that guy that came into the airport, like, are you the Tri-Lambs? Come with me. I thought he was sent by the
beta.
Alphas to, like, they were going to step off the plane and they're, like, in Cambodia or something.
yeah,
No, everything so far is going their
this
way.
first class VIP treatment.
Yeah, wonder what that's like. They're cruising the limo, looking at beach babes as Dr. 38 Specials Back to Paradise plays.
Take me back to paradise.
I
You
knew
guys know
Doctor
that was
would be
38
excited about
Did you
this
guys know
one.
38 Special?
I did not. I had
I did
no
not
idea.
know.
That
Classic.
That was 38 Special.
Hold on, loose land.
Yeah. You know, for my whole life, I thought that song was Hold On Lucy.
Don't let go.
I just know in true 80s fashion, we had a glorious rock song that tied into the movie, and it was just like
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, it was a really...
Girls in their 80s bikinis.
Yeah, with those straps that like go up to
Go
like,
up
their
past their-
armpits. Yeah. Man, that song just rocks our socks off. The film's actual score would be composed by Mark Mothersbaugh and his band Devo. You guys Devo
I can't
fans?
get no
You guys Devo fans?
satisfaction.
Whip it.
I
Whip
can,
it. Yeah,
I can
yeah.
see you being a
I
Devo
can't
fan.
get no.
get
One of
my
the
hat
worst
out.
covers of all
But there was no
time.
gleaming spires.
Right.
There's no Gleaming Spires. They do they do some kind of weird cover songs, like in that opening scene in the dorms of
Yeah.
like some 50s tunes. Like, I always wanted to like Devo, but I just could never really get into them.
I appreciate them for what they were. I mean, they were definitely
They were different.
alternative. They were alternative, and they were different
They
for
were
their
different.
time. So I appreciated it. They were
Mothersbaugh
intelligent.
really went big
But
in
I'm not. I
soundtracks.
wasn't
Oh, yeah.
like. I'm sorry. They did a remake of. I can't say a remake. They did the Stones' Satisfaction. They put their own spin to it, and it was not good.
No, it's
it was horrible.
No, the doctor's correct. Mark Mothersbaugh, the frontman for Devo, is one of the top film composers
Done a bunch
out
of
there.
like Wes Anderson.
Does all the Wes Anderson movies. Like, he's a really well respected. He's kind of like the Oingo Boingo guy who, kind of had
Elfman.
Danny Elfman, who had an 80s band that was kind of did weird stuff, and then
Yeah,
just
that's why I always crack up when people criticize musicians or artists or even cigar rollers. It's just like, oh, this sucks. This it's horrible. If you don't like it, it sucks. It's not worth it. It's trash. No, it's not. You just don't dig it. So shut up. Let somebody else dig it, because chances are they will. It's I don't like Devo. Somebody does.
well, tonight's cigar, Tud. It's not singing to you,
No.
but all it takes is one guy to like it,
Yeah.
and
That's why I'm always hesitant, because I was like, oh my god, I don't know what to say. But then you asked me, and I'm like, well, I got to tell
I
you.
told Rev he wanted to bring the cigar. I was like, we're going to be honest. We're going to treat it like any other cigar.
This trash, Brev.
Hey,
No.
it's doing good work. So
That means that means I'm a hypocrite, and I don't like that. I don't like acknowledging what I already know.
But yeah, I am enjoying especially since the spice and the nose kicked up in that second half. I really needed that. It kind of woke the cigar up. So far, the middle section is the
better.
highlight for
Yeah.
me. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Upon arriving at the Hotel Flamingo, Booger drools all over a Bikini Babe's tatas as she walks by. Would you look at those coconuts? And we hear Lewis say, yeah, they are quite impressive. But of course, he's looking up at a fake tree in the lobby that has actual coconuts up in it. Nerds. Nerds.
Oh yeah, those
nerds.
are quite impressive.
Lewis doesn't see why they all need to check in, so he sets his crew loose on the pool. They, of course, have no objections to that. They can't get out of there fast enough. And Lewis has no objections to the front desk clerk, Sonny, played by the young and quite lovely Courtney Thorne-Smith.
Hello,
Yes.
Courtney.
Later on of Melrose Place fame.
Point of order.
Point of order?
Point of order. She's not as big as Anthony Edwards, but smaller story. But I'm sure you're following it. But I'm wondering with Courtney Smith, if the Anthony Edwards effect was in effect. She had already. I don't know. I think Summer School was also '87, and I'm wondering how this plays.
Derek sent me a message earlier. He was like, "I did a lot of homework. I'm going to really bring my stuff to this."
That's a lie.
And now he's.
Who's the rat now?
Now he's outshining me. He's coming up with all sorts of weird trivia.
Was Courtney Smith going? Was she going places? '87 was a year for her.
Oh, come on.
Summer
After
School and this are her really two big screen credits.
Summer School, Revenge of the Nerds, and Melrose Place. Anything else, Doctor?
No, and there's kind of a gap in between those movies and Melrose Place because
Yeah, kind of like Edwards. ER and Melrose Place were probably right around the same time.
Yeah.
Wonder if they were hanging out during that 7-year ache.
But did she ever? Anthony Edwards is still kind of a known thing. I don't know that Courtney Thorne-Smith
She apparently has a series. I don't know if it's like on the Hallmark Channel or.
Why?
But she's like a detective. It's like an ongoing like.
She would have made a shitload of money from Melrose Place. That was on for a long time.
She was on there from the beginning. So yeah, she probably made a lot of money.
She's cute. I like her.
You like her in this, Ted?
Yes. She's cute.
She's quite cute in this.
Your wife's watching.
Yes, I saw that. I am parsing my words wisely when it comes to the.
I don't know. She was
opposite
one
sides.
of many in Summer School, so I think this was probably
Yeah,
probably happy to get the role.
Yeah.
Here.
Well, inexplicably, all the Tri-Lamb's rooms have been canceled. And when Sonny asked the hotel manager, Mr. Buzz Mussinger, dude, the detective from Raw Deal.
Yeah, Ed Lauder.
Yeah, love that guy.
Lauder's been in a whole bunch.
Oh, he has, but to me, he's always Arnold movie Raw Deal. He's the kind of cop who kind of helps him out along the way. Why he tells her quite simply, she's like, Mr. Mussinger, all the nerds, shouldn't say nerds, all the Tri-Lamb's routes have been canceled. And he matter of factly says, well, yes, I don't want nerds staying at my hotel. The bitter face of prejudice rears its ugly
Ed
face
Lauder, Death
already.
Wish. I knew I not just Arnold.
Oh yeah,
Death Wish.
Yeah, he's one that works with Kersey.
Death Wish 3.
Yeah, he works with Kersey. He's been in everything. I mean, the guy's.
He's in The Longest Yard.
It was in the longest. Yeah, the
original Burt Reynolds one.
But this is our first sign of the harsh prejudice of being a nerd and what they have to live with day to day.
He's an alpha beta.
And we'll learn he was an alpha beta.
Yep. Fuck you, alpha betas.
Yeah. Tut, can you give us an example of when you felt ostracized for being a nerd?
Let's see, from 7th grade until I first hit the stage.
Wow, that's a big stretch.
Yeah.
Over a decade.
I started playing professionally when I was about 19.
That's over a decade.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Yikes.
Yeah, it's amazing what a spotlight and a mic will do to a guy.
Yeah. All of a sudden you get a keyboard in front of you and some smoky
Yeah,
lighting
suddenly I'm
there.
not a nerd, but I am a nerd. Fuck you, joke's on you.
Wow.
Oh, I'm sorry.
A lot of
There might be
good.
some like,
Yeah,
therapy.
I really want you to have some time with
We'll
him
have some
tomorrow.
conversations after.
some deep
Rev, were
stuff.
you? I can't decide because we never really got into your childhood too much.
Yes.
Were you considered a nerd in the early days? or were
Totally.
you-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
I could see you going either way.
Nope. Totally nerd.
Nerd.
Yep.
D&D.
Oh, absolutely. I still have my cape.
That's Tut's.
So, yeah.
That's Tut's.
Absolutely. Yeah. If you haven't been out in the woods with a wood sword and one of the dice, I mean, you haven't lived, right? Am I wrong?
Are you gonna be in town long enough to go to Tut's D&D?
You made me
describing
so
Tut's
happy.
childhood over there.
What do you mean my childhood? That was Monday night.
He's still doing that stupid stuff.
Is that why this is called Tuesday Night Cigar Club?
Yes, we can't do this on Tuesdays because of his D&D stuff. Yeah, Rev, if you're in town long enough, go with
Absolutely,
him. And tell me what it's really like at these things. I think he's sugarcoating it a little bit.
There'll probably be some kind of handshake or code.
No,
that we
it's
can't talk-
exactly what you
goes
think
on
it
at
is.
D&D stays at D&D.
I'm
You
just
know?
picturing a shitload of Mountain Dew and Doritos.
It is exactly what you think it is.
Okay. Well, our gang can't find a hotel room anywhere in the city. TNCC style, Booger says, "Hey, we're only here for 5 days. Do we really need a hotel?" I love that line. That's totally what we would do.
That's legitimate answer.
That's it, dude. And then cocky frat boy Roger Lattimore, Raj, played by Bradley Whitford of Billy Madison fame, and most recently he was the creepy doctor in Get Out.
Had a huge role in West Wing, right?
Yes.
I never watched that liberal crap.
He is one of those. He is such a great smarming guy.
We got live viewers.
yes, he really is just.
Think that, like, I'm hardcore. Like,
I think that he chews up the screen in a very bad way. I mean, he gets my hackles raised just when he walks on,
There's
and I
always
love
those actors,
that.
and he's one of them.
Yeah,
I mean, he can play the consummate asshole.
He's great
You
at
just,
it.
He's a
and
great
you love
asshole.
him for it because you see him on screen. You're like, is he going to be an asshole? Yes, he is. Perfect. I know where this guy stands. I'm all about it.
yeah, he is a really good asshole. And he plays Raj. He approaches Lewis. Raj is the chairman of the United Fraternity Council, and he's also an alpha beta. Uh-oh.
Those damned alpha beta.
Just like old Buzz Mussinger, the hotel manager, acting hotel manager. He offers to call the nerds a cab since apparently Buzz doesn't want you staying here and nobody else does. How about I call you guys a cab? It's very passive-aggressive about it. It's still kind of trying to be their friend. But just then, Poindexter, using his computer, tracks down a room at the Hotel Coral Essex and saves the day.
I love Poindexter.
But we
That was revolutionary in its day. Wow, he used a computer and found that in 2 minutes?
Yeah, it had all
Man,
the information on
how'd
it.
he do that?
But we soon learned the Hotel Coral Essex isn't quite as it was advertised on Poindexter's computer. There are chickens in the parking lot. It's located above a peep show and adult bookstore. And as they get out of the cab, a corpse is being wheeled out of the hotel on a stretcher. Despite the illegal sex acts, the alligator in the swimming pool, and the chalk outline in their bedroom floor, it'll have to do. It's the only place in town. Doctor, did it kind of remind you that America's Best Value Inn we stayed in South Austin?
I would have rather stayed in the Hotel Coral Essex.
Me too.
I love the kind of commentary on the time nowadays when we're looking up a hotel. We're looking up Yelp reviews, Google reviews, Facebook reviews. We've got pictures, we've got stars, and they're like,
Nice if they had
looks
those
good.
10 years
It would
ago.
have been nice if they'd had that about 10 years ago.
Kate and I
when
stayed in the hotel from vacancy.
America's Best Value, my ass.
I think it said that on the calling card. America's Best Value. It's going to be your ass.
Well, that's all right. I mean, they got a place to stay. It's good to go.
It might be the one time in my life the next day I took 4 showers. Like, I just couldn't.
Not there, though.
No, God, no.
God. You open that bathroom, it was the size of a closet.
I didn't even. I don't want to talk about it. I'm already without Fritz. I'm already in a weird headspace. I don't need to think.
I'm going to talk about it.
I don't need to think about that night.
We didn't even get under the covers. We laid on top of the comforter.
Yeah, because nothing sticky happened on that comforter. Back at the Hotel Flamingo, Raj and his crew of alphas.
Hotel Flamingo, the Hotel Coral S. Oh,
No, back at Hotel Flamingo.
The America's Best Value and got me too.
That's how weird this movie is. The Hotel Flamingo's the nice hotel. Raj and his crew of alphas are sitting in their room's hot tub all together, conspiring. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Against the Tri-Lambs. We trashed their house last year. We canceled their rooms this year. What do we have to do to shake these geeks? Raj asks. One meathead, Tiny, why are you asking us? You're the one with the 2.0 GPA. And Raj is like, hey, 2.2. But he still has no answers. Do that another dude. Well, we could kill him. Raj thinks about it for like a second. No, we're not doing that.
Meanwhile, I'm a little confused because nobody in this hot tub was in the first movie, so they're talking about all the stuff that they did with them.
Well, I
And
think
was
they
just
were
kinda like,
maybe
what?
freshmen I think it was implied maybe they were like the
the freshmen, the underclass,
the
of
underclass of Stan and Ogre and those guys.
See, I
and-
still think it doesn't make sense. I don't think they were from Adams College.
I think it's that all alpha betas kind of know this stuff.
Yeah.
going on.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
this kind of
Because later on, we see
impression
some
that-
Tri-Lambs come
Yeah.
to the
Yeah,
rescue.
this was
Right,
a
right, right.
legendary thing that happened
Yeah.
at Adams College.
Apparently, fraternities across universities help each other.
Well, yeah,
Like gangs.
We should have learned that from the first film, which we didn't
Right.
watch, of course.
Well, that's
But-
right. The Tri-Lambs came to the rescue of the
Tri-Lambs,
first film.
Right.
That's
UL
Jefferson.
Jefferson.
You and Jefferson.
I love
You
that
and
scene.
Bernie Casey.
Justice.
Shout out for Bernie Casey.
Oh, Bernie Casey is the man.
Tiny, one of the alphabets, Tiny, says, I know what we'll do. What is every guy afraid of? A chick seeing you undressed and seeing how tiny your dick is. So we'll get him naked and that'll get him. And he looks around like, right?
Jesus.
We're all afraid of that?
Jesus.
Like, all right, Tiny, take a back seat. It's PG-13, man. There's only so much they can do here. Well, just like that, as Ogre, he's been pissing this whole time in the bathroom next door. It's like a 2-minute piss. He's been just going back.
It's
I guess Ogre is now in some sort of graduate program, right? Because
Yes.
he's clearly
He's working on his master's.
he was a senior in the first
He's in
movie
his-
several years ago.
He's in his doctorate in
I
sports
think he's
management.
a TA. Yeah.
TA.
Parks and Recreation doctorate. As Ogre finally jiggles it and finishes up, all of a sudden Raj finally has an idea. I got a master plan to get rid of Lewis and those boys for good. You know what else is good, fellas?
What's good?
That's right, Tut. Some coffee-infused tobacco cigars from our friends at Drew Estate. Tobacco Special cigars are made by the almighty Drew Estate, the same folks who brought you Liga Privada, Undercrown, Nica Rustica, and more. Your choice of either extra dark Connecticut broadleaf or natural Connecticut shade wrappers. They envelope a Sumatra binder and Nicaraguan Criollo filler leaves. Derek, did I say Criollo right?
No, you didn't.
How do you say it?
Criollo.
That's what I said.
No, you didn't.
Criollo.
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 Not yo-yo. Yo-yo.
Yayo?
Criollo.
Maybe if you hadn't called him a filthy rat later on, he would.
Criollo.
Let's just move along.
Before aging, the cigars are slowly infused with Nicaraguan estate-grown coffee. The smoke is medium to full-bodied, depending on the wrapper. It's rich tobacco flavors commingling, did I say that right?
Yeah, you did.
With the unmistakable aroma of coffee and some sweetness. I'm a fan, and you will be too. Seek them out. Rev, you gave me my first tobacco cigar.
They're great cigars. Great with a good cup of coffee in the morning. I mean, just you can't go wrong. So
You, I believe, gave me the Negra. These
con
days,
leche, the con leche, or the
yeah, no, just not the
Connecticut and the
yeah, not the red eye or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Just a straight up Negra. I'm gonna take a minute here. We're talking about coffee.
Sure.
Tell us a little bit about Love Buzz.
Sure, yeah. So,
Oh my God.
part of the reason I'm called Rev Java, or my name there, is because for the church that I'm with, I actually talk about fair trade coffee, and so we work with a cooperative out of Massachusetts called Equal Exchange, and so we talk about doing fair trade coffee. Most churches, that's one of the biggest things we have after worship is coffee.
Sure.
So Love Buzz is a blend of a lot of Central American beans. I think it's probably one of the smoothest coffees I've ever had. If you actually look at the beans, you can see like a Vienna roast and a French roast, and they blend together, make a full-bodied coffee.
This is your creation.
It's not my creation.
Oh, okay.
I'm just I tasted something way back in the day, but before it was blended. But
You gave it the okay.
Sure. Yeah, I'm sure there was more minds in it than just me. But once again, it's one of my favorite blends. It's
I don't think we've ever had modesty on the
something
podcast
I
before.
really encourage, and I talk about it all the time. I still actually have some here, but once again, I carry it with me and drink it all the time. So great
Well,
coffee.
you turned me on to it. My grandmother was big in the United Church of Christ.
Sure.
And they sold Equal Exchange out in the lobby.
A lot of churches.
Kind of trust system. You come in, put money in, grab a bag of coffee, and it's good stuff.
Equal Exchange is a great company. You can find it in stores, but you can also find it in churches and nonprofits.
And
as
you can
well.
also order it straight off the Equal Exchange website, too.
Equalexchange.coop, and you can go right on there and buy it. And you can buy it in the 12-ounce bag. You can buy it in a 5-pound bag. It's great. Good coffee.
This man knows his coffee, and I agree. Love Buzz.
Yep.
I'm
Check it
not
out.
gonna. I'm not gonna lie. I first thought that your nickname was there because you love JavaScript, but I love Buzz.
Yeah, it's a damn good coffee. But don't you also do a lot of computer stuff for
I
the
do
truth?
some geeky computer stuff, yeah.
So the
That's why I'm a
Yeah.
nerd. That's why I'm a nerd.
But Rev Java kind of works both
It was
ways.
both and. Yeah, in fact, it got to me because originally I was in a college fraternity and I was actually named. My nickname was Java there. Then I got ordained and I became Rev Java. So that's
So
kind of
you
followed
were
with
in
me.
a fraternity.
I was in a college fraternity.
We're
Yeah,
learning all sorts. Were any,
all-
any of you guys? No.
yeah.
No.
Greek Letter Society. Yeah, sure.
Which, can I ask which fraternity?
Louisiana. What's am I supposed to say again? Louisiana.
is the Pelican State.
Louisiana is the Pelican
Okay,
State.
that's all you got to say. That's your safe. That's your safe sentence. Okay.
Rev, do you still? I remember your old posts. You'd post every morning. Now life has changed for me. I don't get to get online in the mornings anymore. Do you still do the morning coffee and cigar posts?
No,
No,
God,
actually,
no.
not as much anymore. I have to say that I drink coffee, but not as much cigars in the morning anymore. Having a
Yeah.
7-year-old is
Sure.
keeps you busy.
Yeah.
Drinking that Alka-Seltzer and everything
Or
else.
floor cleaner.
Yeah, or floor cleaner, whatever the case may be in your coffee. So yeah,
Oh, I thought you were talking about the beer again.
No.
Look, it had a little pine sol on the first can, but I think everybody can agree by the third or fourth. It
just cleans out the mouth.
yeah. Okay. I did not know you were in a fraternity and
Absolutely, sure.
learn all sorts of stuff tonight.
Fraternities are important. So
Tud, is the live feed still rolling along?
I don't know how, but because of God, Rev's good graces with God, yeah, it is.
Okay. All right. Well, don't forget, folks, you got to like the TNCC page and leave a comment to get those Cats Fest tickets. And tomorrow's the big auction for Black Label cigars. Get some Fiends, get some Neon Tiger. What was the other barber pole in there?
We had the Shere Khan and the Neon Tiger.
I do like
the
that. I'm sorry, that
Shere Khan
Shere Khan
is
is beautiful.
It's-
Oh
What
my
is
God,
what is
it
the Shere
beautiful.
Khan?
It's the same blend as the Neon Tiger, but with a Maduro mix in. It's going to be.
this is totally on the spot, but I mean, Derek, if it's okay, I'll throw in a bag of coffee as well with yours as well. If people want to raffle off of
Absolutely.
that.
Hey.
We'll throw in a bag of Love Buzz coffee as well. So
do
I
it.
got that right here. I'll give it
There
to
we
you.
go. You're not only are you getting the cigars from Black Label, you're getting a bag of whole beans. Are they ground?
Whole beans, 12 ounce. Yep.
Whole beans, 12 ounce, Love Buzz
Love Buzz.
coffee.
Thank you.
Yep. No problem.
Cigars for Warriors. Thanks, you, Red.
Oh, hey.
Good job, boys. Okay. The next night, the Tri-Lambs are invited by Raj to a fraternity council pre-conference barbecue. Sponsored by Drew Diplomat. No. They have their hands in everything. They're shuttled out to the swamp where they immediately see a group of what appears to be Seminole Indians carrying away a screaming captive woman they dragged out of a bamboo cell. I love this. We have to help her, Lewis says. If not us, who? And if not now, when?
Yes.
Booger responds with the perfect TNCC answer. Somebody else, some other time? We ain't chasing those Seminole Indians after some virgin. No way. But Lamar, of all people, leads the charge in, and they race off to rescue the sacrificial virgin. They're soon trapped on a tiny bamboo bridge over a swimming pool filled with gators as the Indian chief, Raj, tells them they must burn their clothes in the sacrificial fire and get the hell out of Seminole. He loses track. Just get the hell out of Florida. That's kind of funny, too.
Gators and Seminoles working together.
Now we got problems.
First sign something's not right.
The nerds are smart enough to sense bullshit, but when they finally escape and trip over Ogre banging some sorority sister on the hard dirt ground, Derek style, they realize that alphas... Derek, I imagine you in your younger years as quite the ladies' man. Am I wrong?
I don't know, if Tut's wife, if mine is watching, so let's just move along.
Would you say that Louisiana is indeed the Pelican State?
Louisiana is the Pelican State.
Good move. Good move.
That means he was. For anybody who's trying to follow the dots.
Thank you, Tuttle.
Oh, you're welcome.
Just for that, you're not.
My God, the level of hostility in the room tonight, I've never seen it before on a podcast. My word, no Fritz beer, special guests, and Tuttle's hostility is through the roof. It must be coursing through his veins.
Doctor, would you say when the podcast is over that Derek and Tuttle, will they ever talk again?
Gate, I'm afraid it's far too early to tell right now.
I think you're right.
No, it's not. I will talk to you all the time.
Oh,
All the time.
that's not just for the cameras.
No,
That's brotherly love right there. That's
As soon as,
brotherly right
as soon
there.
as the cameras
That's
are
what
off.
tonight is about.
That is what tonight
As
is about.
soon as the cameras are off. Oh wait, no. It's,
Well, as soon as they see Ogre banging that chick in the dirt road,
She was the would-be virgin.
yeah,
She was.
yeah, she's full of crap.
We should remember she was the one that was sacrificed. And I think anyone having to have sex with Ogre is indeed
it's kind of a sacrifice.
a sacrifice.
It's a sacrifice. You guessing Ogre's not too big into foreplay?
That didn't appear to be tender lovemaking.
No. He had his sweaty jean shorts still around his ankles.
Oh, I love
Same
those jean
tank
shorts.
top he's been wearing for 3 days since setting in humid Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah.
Let's get you down on this hard pan out here and
I think he still had some of his shrimp cocktail from the pool in his beard. Yeah.
Fortunately, I had all the technical stuff tonight to worry about because, much like Cody, I would have shown up in the Ogre cutoff shorts. That was going to be my thing.
We
Oh
really
my
should have
God.
game planned this better.
oh god.
I don't know if even Rev could concoct a prayer to counteract that.
I'll have
No,
to
I
look
mean,
at the
that's-
book. I don't know about that.
Tight jean shorts.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that.
No, I mean that's what we're all afraid of, right? Wearing jean shorts with the
We're afraid of
cameras
you wearing them,
around.
yes.
I believe Rev, isn't that mentioned in the end of days?
Yeah, it's toward the end of the Bible, but yes,
Jean shorts?
it's one of the
Also in
signs.
the New Testament, correct?
Lo, and I saw a six-headed
meaning to
beast.
Revelation.
Exactly. Yes.
Upon the six-headed beast was Tut wearing
And
jean
then
shorts.
Todd bent down to tie his shoes.
There was a great wailing and gnashing of teeth.
Gee whiz. Well, when they see Ogre having sex there, and they trip over him as Tut trips over his chair, they realize that it is indeed the alphas behind all this. They find themselves then spinning around on a fake rock wall like Scooby-Doo, like the bookcase that always swivels around, where they're spun right into a high society country club gathering.
That makes sense because they were taken all the way out to the swamp.
All the way in the swamp,
Just
and
happened
they-
to be
What kind of high society country club has spinning walls?
The good ones.
the highest society
The
country
ones
club.
I might consider joining.
Well, I was just,
Definitely
I
handshakes
just,
involved.
it was one of those scenes where I'm like, you know what? I haven't seen this movie in a couple of years. How can my, when you actually start paying attention, like, I'm going to review this movie. Why do I not remember this? How did this happen?
That's why when folks say we're doing a movie that you've seen a million times, they're like, "Well, I don't need to watch it again. I've seen that movie." No, you really don't until you put it under a magnifying glass for the podcast because you see shit like that.
Like everything else, I mean, I could have told you, like, and this was one of those things where I guess as many times as I've seen this, I just kind of glossed over it. Like,
Why
And this-
did the country club have a revolving rock wall?
Exactly.
That on the other side was a makeshift recreation of the Seminole Indian sacrificial altar.
correct.
So those country club people were into some freaky stuff. Is basically
Apparently
what's
All
so.
the good country clubs do that.
And by the way, Kate, as a country club member myself, it's not like the Masons. You don't just ask and we let you in. It's a whole different
going on.
thing.
It's a whole nother eyes wide shut style. Well, the nerds pull up their boxer briefs and walk the 5 miles back to the hotel. Nobody's picking up those hitchhikers.
And you are a
Bunch of nerds
In their underpants, walking along a
in their
humid
underpants.
Florida highway.
Yeah,
in the middle of the
nobody's
night.
picking up.
Well,
those
then
guys.
again, you know what? After, when this movie was made and considering everything that's happened, it is being Florida. Somebody would have picked them up nowadays.
Actually, these guys are the norm in Florida nowadays. Just some random weirdos in their underpants. I lived in Florida for a year or two. I blocked it out, but man, I'm not a fan.
I'm getting the Hillsborough letters. Kate's getting the Florida letters. Take me back to paradise.
Real quick, Derek, you're lighting up your next cigar. I'm starting my final third. That strength is still picking up for me on Lancero.
Still working on it.
Are you getting more and more strength as it goes on? It's been kind of progressive from the middle point on. It's kind of just.
I think Tut, correct me if I'm wrong, Tut generally likes things that are more stronger in his cigars than I do.
Correct.
So that, I mean, this flavor profile really works for me.
No, I can see why Tut's. Tut does tend to these days gravitate towards the.
He's hardcore when it comes to his
Lajero,
jean
the stronger
shorts
stuff.
and a guy like that.
I do like a good pair of jeans.
You go strong or you don't go at all.
Are you from Ohio?
No.
I am, you bastard.
Texas.
It's like Ohio.
I don't know. We got to bring Ohio into this. What about you? Yax, you're typically this profile suits your fancy. You a fan?
I am. You were right. Spice picked up once I get past the halfway mark, so I like that. I won't say that it was like became overpowering or anything, but it was just a nice to get that little bit extra.
Okay.
But
that was an interesting transition too, from a light, creamy vanilla.
It came out of
flavor to
nowhere
all
for
a sudden
me.
Getting that,
The strength came out of nowhere for me, and now in the final third, I'm really just getting just that earthiness. I think it's the Nicaraguan tobacco, and then the cream is gone. Just a little bit, still that milk chocolate's hanging around a little bit. But man, that spice on the nose is. I never did get Derek's almonds.
Sorry.
Anybody else get the almonds?
Almond communion bread? I don't know. I'm just asking.
I don't know where you guys are getting this flavored communion bread. I got just a stale wafer.
Did you promise to send him like some special gourmet almonds?
I didn't.
'Cause that's what it sounded like. I never did get your almonds.
No. All right. Well, now's a good time. You're starting your new cigar, Tut. You're probably about to light up a new one.
I'm done.
Price point. I'm going to start with.
Yeah.
Oh wait.
So is it guessing or what is
Yeah,
it?
well, yes,
Oh yeah, sure.
You know it though.
Yeah,
don't you?
I know.
Yeah, no, you stay.
Okay, yeah.
You're excluded.
Okay.
Yak Boy.
Oh, throwing this on me.
MSRP. What are you going to pay for this going into a shop?
Lancero. It has been delicious. I'm going to go 9.
$9. Doctor.
I'd go 10. Lasted a long time and high quality. I'd pay $10 for the stogie.
Okay, you guys both liked it. Derek, you're in the industry. I will pass on you if you don't want to get involved.
No. Let him do it.
Huh?
Let him do it.
No,
Let him do it.
Sounds like he didn't even have a choice there.
No, I was just giving the option.
I'm just.
You said do it. He said don't. I'm going to let Cody.
No. I'm letting
Cody?
No, I'm saying
Should he
do
say
it.
or not?
Do I
Yes.
pass?
Yeah.
I'm going to go 925.
Tut.
11.25.
Ooh.
11.
I figured it was a specialty cigar.
But you went over, so
Well,
Derek
yeah.
wins.
That's all right.
No, Mincy wins. Doctor wins.
What did I win?
Another cigar.
Yeah, help yourself.
Yeah, $11. I don't smoke enough Lanceros. I don't go into shops and buy enough Lanceros to know what the market is. I know it is a pricier Vitola than most.
It's definitely more difficult to make.
Yeah.
For the reasons you stated earlier.
All the Lanceros we've had on the show have been at a higher price point than the same blend in a different Vitola. Derek, what are we smoking here?
Well, if you light up what I passed around, which you're certainly not obligated to do, is a Killer Bee Connecticut.
This is the Connecticut shade version of the Killer Bee,
Right.
with the signature barber pole around the cap and the foot.
Right. Have any of y'all smoked this before?
No. I can tell you right now.
I thought I may have given you one when you came to the house.
No.
Yeah, this is our Killer Bee Connecticut. What we did was James had come up with this. The blend, the internal guts are the same as the Killer Bee, but we got put a Connecticut wrapper on it. You guys know the original Killer Bee we did was the Maduro version, the Ecuadorian Habano Maduro with Connecticut accents. So what we did was we flipped it.
Yep.
And last year we had a lot of discussions about what do we want to do with this? How do we make it? How do we give it the stage it deserves? And we decided that it would be only available last year to the retailers that made it out to the IPCPR trade show. You know, getting out there. You guys went.
We tried to get.
You came to the booth.
We tried to get some from you there, and we got shut down.
Well, nothing personal.
It was totally personal.
No,
there.
it wasn't personal.
It was.
If it's personal, you can put it out now. I mean, I thought we were going to be friends, but
You guys just shook hands.
we
Literally,
did just
shook
shake hands. So what we decided to do last year was to make this available to the retailers that work with us who came to the trade show. You know, there's a lot of expenses associated with the trade show, not only for the retailers, but for us as manufacturers to be out there. So we want to do something special with the trade show because now what you see in the industry is a lot more people giving deals and doing things for shops that maybe don't come out to the trade show, which I understand. It's a business. But we wanted to do something a little different. So we made this available at that time.
What we're going to do with it this year is we're making it one of our limited editions in the Blackwork Studio line.
Okay.
So it'll be coming out around the time of the trade show. And I love it.
So this is like a new drop. This isn't available yet.
It's not available yet.
We're friends again.
If I can make, we're friends. We can make a little. If I can make just one little asterisk, you guys, I always when I get to come to see is awesome. But every time I talk to Kate about before I come, I say, "Is the doctor going to be there? Is the doctor going to be
He's
there?"
a doctor
and every time it's
fan.
no,
Thank you very much.
no. This time, I get to have the doctor.
That's why I sat you next to him.
It's great. I love it.
Someone tells me I'm going to fire this sumbitch up and I'm going to like it.
The first.
Well, you know, I am the national sales manager.
The first 99 rating from the doctor.
Yeah. Before I, close it out, I just wanted to say one other thing. I want you to know that the shirt, I have a Tuesday Night Cigar Club shirt, and I sweat in it once a week at my exercise group with your face. That my sweat pours through your visage. I just wanted you to know that.
Rev, I also see you on social.
By the way, you can get those shirts at TuesdayNightCigarClub.com. It is the doctor shirt.
And Rev, I see you on social media quite a bit wearing your doctor shirt.
I wear the shirt. I sweat as well, but that's just who I am. It's another story and it's another day.
As a man of physical health and science, sweating is good for you.
Sweating, yeah.
You may as well sweat through me.
Doctor, would you say that sweating is as good for you as drinking beer and smoking cigars?
My God, Derek, what a fantastic question. That is what I love about the Tuesday Night Cigar Club is the learning and the education. Of course it is.
Of course.
Brilliantly done. Brilliantly done, sir.
I believe at last year's Cats Fest, or they skipped last year, the year before, Rev gave the opening prayer wearing the doctor's t-shirt.
Absolutely. Just the doctor's t-shirt.
Yeah, that's why
Only.
that's
it.
that's
And a
actually
smile.
why they didn't have a Cats Fest last year.
This is the end.
This is the end of Cats Fest.
That's why we're in a new location, too, but that's another story.
Just behave yourself this
Okay,
year, will you?
sorry.
Come on now.
I am very, very flattered by that.
I have to interject a longtime fan, Justin Nosser. I hope I'm pronouncing that. I was like, live? When did this travesty occur?
Yeah, somebody on Instagram said the same thing. Like this is where it all.
This is where society just crumbles.
This is, you guys live is not a good concept. But you know what? Tut wants it, so we're doing it.
I do. Thank you.
And it's all for Cigars for Warriors.
I'm having a good time for Cigars for Warriors. Rev, are you having a good time?
A phenomenal time. I can't, if it was any better, it would be illegal.
There you
Sometimes
go.
it is.
There you go.
Historic
And
Temple,
by the way, Rev, I'm nubbing this thing down to the.
Good.
It is not burning hot down to my
Yeah.
fingertips, and good smoke. Okay, and the beers. I'm good right
These
now.
are good.
Everybody's beers good. Okay.
10 to 1, he's forgotten where we are in the movie.
I'll prove you wrong.
Well, if he had, it
Booger
would
and
be
his
because
fellow
of Joe Ross'
nerds.
script.
Booger and his fellow nerds just want to go home after this night out with the Seminole Indian, the fake Seminole Indian tribe, where they can not get laid in peace, he says. I like that line. But Lewis proves his leadership and inspires them to fight the good fight and continue on. Also, as they enter their room, Booger encounters Edgar Poe Wong, a.k.a. Snotty, played by the legendary... You know what? Fort Lauderdale... Fuck you. You're not legendary. James
Not compared to
Hong is
this
legendary. Lopan, man.
Lopan.
In the room across the hall. It's a pigsty of a room.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, he's proud of it.
It is a shithole.
It is. It looks a lot like my dorm room at Sam Houston State University.
Oh, I forgot
It really
tonight.
does.
Burger King wrappers
I forgot
everywhere.
tonight I was going to smoke it like this.
I'll be you had more 40s.
Derek just gave the signal.
This is the Eat 'em Up Cats. Sam Houston State.
Did you go to Sam Houston State?
Freshman year.
Wow.
We're learning so much tonight.
I was not in a fraternity at Sam Houston State, nor at the University of Texas, but specifically at Sam Houston State. I was not.
But you know,
Eat 'em up cats.
the secret handshake. Okay. Well, it's not secret anymore. We're on Facebook Live. Everybody's going to be going around now trying to get discounts doing this.
No, they're not.
As if anybody who graduates Sam Houston State owns a business. I'm kidding. Edgar Poe Wong, a.k.a. Snotty, is in the room across the hall. It's a pigsty. Shit is everywhere. And Snotty, as Derek said, is totally unapologetic about it, which really turns Booger on. This guy lives in a shithole, and he's thriving. Booger picks up a crumpled beer can on the ground, just chugs it Cade style.
Warm, flat beer.
And just down the hatch.
Blows something off of the top of the can.
Oh,
You know,
yes.
We're not sure what.
It's
Let's just go with detritus.
And he lets out an impressive belch, but then Snotty counters with a burp so massive it cracks the mirror on the wall in the bathroom. Booger drops to his knees. Master. And Snotty smiles. My son.
My son. And then gives
I
the
like when
whole.
doesn't he say, after he says thank you, then he says, you should be ashamed of yourself. Fuck you. Who died and made you
Fuck
God?
you. Who died and made you? I'm sorry. This dude chews up screen no matter what he's in.
Which he's in everything.
Oh,
The
God,
guy's got
yes.
like 1,000.
Thank
Also,
you.
in Tango and Cash.
Yes,
Yes.
he's one of the drug
Yes,
drug
yes,
dealer
he,
drug
yes, yes, he
bosses.
is. Yes, he is, Mr. Nancy.
Indeed.
To me, he's Lopan from Big Trouble in Little
He
China.
is Lopan.
He'll always be Lopan. It's his defining role as far as I'm concerned.
this earth to get it.
What's the problem, Pan? You and the ladies? Certainly you know the troubles with men and women and the... Dude.
Certainly you know the troubles with men and women.
There have been others.
Are you crazy? Is that your problem? I said that to Tut on the phone yesterday. He hung up on me.
Yes, I did.
Shut up, Mr. Burton.
Shut up, Mr. K.
Oh, I'm sorry your phone wasn't getting reception in the liquor store.
It's funny how often that happens to me.
And I'm a Japanese fighter pilot. Whatever. It works. I've heard it both ways.
I've heard it both ways.
The next morning at the pool, the Alphas are gloating about their mission the night before. Buzz Mussinger, remember that guy at the acting hotel? He's not even the hotel manager. He doesn't own the hotel.
Is he acting?
Acting. He's like, because he's there. Like, there's another manager that just, he has a good job. He doesn't have to be there all the time. He can't believe all the drama these boys are having. Back when he was an alpha, all that mattered was getting drunk and getting laid. And now, look at me. I'm a fancy pants hotel manager. Woohoo! Ogre agrees between shoveling mouthfuls of food in his mouth. Well, Lewis and the nerds storm their way into the Hotel Flamingo and tell Raj that by the laws of the fraternity council, they have every right to be here just like everybody else. Raj begrudgingly agrees, so he quickly holds a high council meeting where he offers up a Proposition 15, or 5.
15.
No, on 15.
I think it is 15.
No, on 15.
Proposition 15, to where fraternities must uphold certain physical standards as well as academic ones. That ain't good for our puny nerds, is it? The movement is somehow seconded only by Ogre. That's weird, right? Like their own guy, like, second? Okay, that's all we needed.
No, I'm gonna second the motions you guys put out.
It seems
any motion put forward, if it is seconded within a...
I think we need to come up with some TNCC bylaws because I think.
Let me get out my copy of Robert's Rules of Orders. We'll go over this right now.
Do you guys use that in the Masons?
I'm done.
Louisiana. What?
I believe Louisiana is the Pelican.
I believe Louisiana is the Pelican State.
Fair enough. Ogre seconds it by himself. All the other fraternities are just silent. And boom, things are not looking good for the Trilambs. They try to protest Proposition 15. Here's where the PG-13 really goes against where this film could have been. But then the Alphas, as they're protesting, announce a wet nighty competition poolside in 5 minutes.
Well, I love this.
And everybody races out of the meeting hall.
Well, I love this. Lewis gets up to the mic and he's like demanding to be heard. And the guy was like, hey, okay, we're going to get you to heard. Let me make this one
quick
announcement. And Lewis is like, yeah, that's right. You're going to observe me. It's like, wet nighty shirt at the poolside. Everybody leaves and is like, fudge.
The original film, there would be no wet nighties. It would be full boobies. I just, man.
Take me
Yes,
back to
lost-
the original film.
Lost opportunity.
Lost opportunities.
Fine with it.
I'm actually fine with it. I am. I don't know why I am, but I am.
Unfortunately, you just can't help but compare it to the original. I mean, you have to. They're 3 years apart.
Maybe it was because the original is one of the very first films where I saw boobs and muff. And I have a special place in my heart for it. But the wet nighty competition, and there's girls and they're just in their 90s. It's like, man, this is a nerds movie.
I'm fine with it.
It's Booger. Like,
I'm fine with it.
You're with
We
me.
should be seeing some hair pie, is what you're saying.
We should be seeing some hair.
Still, I would have been happy to judge a wet nighty contest.
Yes,
Who wouldn't?
especially with those contestants.
What every
Rev,
guy,
do you know if at this year's Cats Fest 6 there will be a wet nighty competition?
I believe it's on. It's still in discussion right now. But
Will that be? I hope it's before the chili with beans competition.
I think it'll be probably during the Drew Diplomat, pre-event.
Okay.
Wait. Granted, I've only been to Cats Fest once, and the most memorable thing that happened there was meeting Derek twice. So, considering the male to female ratio, do we want a wet nighty contest there?
Oh, I'm totally getting in my 90.
Wow.
Oh,
So
boy.
what is it that every guy's afraid of? Everyone else seeing
how
how
small their
bladder is.
Their wiener.
Bladder.
Oh, he's gone 2 times.
Yeah, 2
now.
times.
Oh, it's all right. It's all right, man.
Nobody's
It's all right.
judging.
Nobody's judging. you, man.
back to paradise.
Everybody, wait till he's in the bathroom to start talking shit about him.
I'm going to defend him. No.
Nice nerd bladder.
Nice nerd bladder, Derek. No.
Great kid just turned into ogre down here.
Nerd bladder. As they walk past the wet nighty competition, very PG, and see all the horn dog fraternities going nuts, Lewis determines they must fight fire with fire. To which Booger says, "Agreed. We torch their hotel rooms." Which in an R-rated movie, he'd be like, "We torch the fuckers."
Well,
That's Booger.
That was his line from the first one. Let's blow the fuckers up.
That's Booger. He can't cuss in this one. You're stilting character development. You're stilting character.
Which is amazing because when you look at PG-13 at the time, and we were talking
You
about
get
how
2 F words.
well, we were talking about how
Not in '87.
Yeah,
I
no.
thought you got one.
Oh, you get 1 in A7. I think
I don't think you got an F-bomb in '87.
No, you did.
No, wait, he's right. There was none. They've changed that.
No, there's an F bomb in this. Somebody says it.
What's interesting is
I don't
that
remember
you
that.
still see boobs in the 90 concert. Or the 90 contest. You still see boobs later on, but yet you can't say the F word.
So, to get back to
Can you see boobs in a 13 movie now?
No.
back to
but you
say,
can probably say F
three or-
words.
3 or 4 F
You
words.
can, but no nipples.
Yeah, side boob.
Oh, man,
So,
that's weird. Well, side boob is the best boob.
Anything if it covers the nipple, they can show you anything else. Which once again makes no sense.
Yeah,
Because
that's
the dude's going to run across screen shirtless, but then
part of what you're talking about with Booger not being able to use the F-bomb and the rating, part of this goes back to something I read in Armstrong's book. They mentioned that Jeff Canu, I'm saying it that way because otherwise Jeff Canu,
The original.
the guy who directed the first one,
Right.
he said he understood the spirit of the thing. It's called Revenge of the Nerds. It's an 80s movie, and he, according to Armstrong and Timothy Busfield and Larry B. Scott, who played Luttrell, all said that in the original movie, Canu had really allowed them to do what precious actors like to do, for better or worse, ad-lib and improvise. And he said he really kind of caught the spirit of it, whereas he said where Joe Roth was completely uninterested in that. It was more of a 2 takes and move on. You say your lines the way we wrote them. He wanted to get this done.
Yeah.
And Kate and I, having met some people who were actors and some people who fancied themselves actors, for better or worse, I'm not knocking it. If you're going to be an actor, if you think of yourself as one, most of those people are fairly egotistical, and a lot of that's understandable. They want to feel like they're part of the collaborative process and not, I'm just a tool who shows up and read my lines.
Right.
So that kind of, Armstrong, I said it rubbed him the wrong way that Joe Roth was like that. And granted, they had a PG-13 script, so I don't know what they could do about that. But Timothy Busfield, he had gone back in the book. Armstrong was talking to these people decades later and getting their take on it now. And he just said that they all kind of felt the same way, that Joe Roth, he knew he was going on to bigger and better things. This was to get his set experience, and he really wasn't interested in letting them kind of goof around with the material. Because according to Armstrong in the original film, he said there's a ton of shit that they improvise that ends up in there. He said like the whole thing with him and Takashi where he's handing him the joint. He said they basically
I feel nothing.
He said the two of them just basically made that up on the spot. And he said there was a lot of other
Director
stuff.
gave him some space to explore.
He kind of let him do what you want to do, or he just said Joe Roth was totally opposed to that. And so I think that, granted, if the studio wanted to be PG-13 in the 80s, now a PG-13 now is kind of like an R movie 30 years ago. This is 30 years ago, a PG-13 movie, so that stilted them in some ways, but also according to Armstrong and some of the other principles that Roth's directorial method and the Gunselman script was lacking, in their opinion, as performers.
It shows. It certainly shows. So, no, Lewis says we can't torch their hotel rooms. We must throw an anti-Proposition 15 party as only we can. We've done it before in Lambdas. We're going to do it again. Party on, boys.
Clap your hands, everybody.
Everybody clap your hands.
I'm sorry, you did do it before, and it was an awesome party. This is not an awesome party. Tut, correct? Even you can agree this is...
I can totally agree.
This party
is
is
Wait. You don't like the Lamar rap?
No, I don't. No, I'm sorry. When he comes on in the first one, clap your hands, everybody. Everybody clap your hands. That is iconic. This was just a rehash of number one. And everything.
The whole movie was a rehash of number one.
And trust me, I'm a huge Beastie Boys fan, and the whole Stewart dude coming on was like a Beastie Boys knockoff.
I've left him out of my notes for a reason. The guy was useless.
And still,
I'm not going to give him the time.
Rock copy.
I'm not going to give this guy the time of day.
Actually, I would think he's more of a MCA copy.
So, according to Armstrong, two
he had
things.
An MCA voice, but he was wanting to be Ad Rock.
One, Canu.
I understand him, because as a child in the 80s, I wanted to be Ad Rock, but I was more MCA.
Canu, the original director, when he said, "What's the point of a Nerds 2? The Nerds won. What are you going to do, make them win again?" And Curtis Armstrong said he didn't get it. He said, that's the point of one of these sequels is, we're just going to do everything over again.
It's Rocky.
And the guy that played Stewart, Barry Sobel, Armstrong said, nice guy, but not an actor. He said he was a young stand-up comic.
Yeah.
And he said not an actor, and it showed.
I purposely left him out of all my notes because his character was pointless. His meanderings into the storyline were useless.
Well, at this point, they're making a part 2. They're probably thinking we might have a franchise here, and they did to some extent, but maybe they're thinking 3 years down the road, there's a theatrical release. Maybe we're getting a new nerd.
We need new nerds.
But let's get somebody we don't have to pay any money to.
Yeah. So that night, the boys short out the hotel sign. Derek, what did the hotel sign originally read?
Hotel Coral Essex.
Now it reads Hotel Oral Sex.
Hot oral sex.
Hot oral sex. And naturally, we've got ourselves the making of a big-time bash. The scene in the parking lot is literally like World War Z, with that army.
All the armies going into the hotel.
Army of frat boys just like crawling all over each other to get
into each other.
to get into the place.
Was that not your college experience?
No, not at Sam Houston.
We didn't
State
have that at
University.
the pits.
I did read an interesting thing about zombies the other day that I never thought about. Speaking of zombies, just kind of flirted in my mind. Every zombie movie, if you think about it, is inherently flawed because whether they are killed wearing their clothes or if they're come out of the ground from their caskets, at a certain point, there's become more and more emaciated.
You pronounced that correctly.
Every zombie, at some point, their clothes would fall off. They should be walking around with their pants around their ankles because they're not taking in, if I got killed right now, 2 weeks from now, with no food and I'm chasing people, my pants are going to be falling off because I've lost so much weight from not. It's a fatal flaw in zombie movies.
Okay, anyway,
Their
so
pants should be around their
hot oral sex, and moving on.
That's a good point.
I don't know what time it is, but Kay just destroyed the zombie genre forever.
They should have
No
their pants around their legs. They should be. When they die, their belt.
Pants
You don't see zombies like redoing their belts.
Just
Or
giving
poking
me
new-
the title to my next medical journal article. Zombies. Why are the pants still on?
Why are their pants still on? You never seen them like poking new belt holes.
New England Journal
And why
of
would they
Medicine.
care?
Here I come, motherfuckers.
Why would they care if their pants? Why would they care if their pants fell down?
Fuck you.
If anything, all the zombies running around should be pantless.
I don't tell you anything, Dick Brain.
If I were making movies, they would be pantless.
Well, I don't know, Kate, but the pants are still on. I mean, what the fuck do you want me to do about it?
Pantless zombies.
Anywho, Todd, is anybody still watching this?
Yeah, actually they are. That's
Okay.
weird.
The nerds have once again taken the stage. This is where we were getting at. And they are rocking and rapping their nerdy, unattractive faces off. Poindexter's on the electric violin again.
God.
Lamar is handling lead vocal duties.
Thank you.
He's kind of like a gay, flamboyant Professor Griff. He's got the beret and the fists in the air, but it's just...
That's Public Enemy
On
reference.
15. Say no on 15.
Again,
I know, and it was an
I said
obscure. It was an obscure PE reference too. It wasn't the Chuck D or the Flav.
Griff.
By the way, I found out that
It wasn't even
I hate
Terminator.
to bring the first movie back again, but in the when they compete in the Greek Olympiad,
Yeah.
the limp-wristed Lamar Latrell throwing motion of the javelins.
The javelin, right.
That is a killer volleyball serve. I played some volleyball for a while, and if you emulated the Lamar Latrell limp-wristed slap of the volleyball, that thing was like a
He's a man
Verlander
of science.
curveball. It just took off and then just
He's a man
dipped
of
out into the
science.
back
Really?
corner. Yeah.
I remember you being really big into beach volleyball.
That's why you're a doctor.
Played a little beach volleyball, administered some first aid when it was required,
To the ladies.
of course.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes
Everybody
without
is
permission.
lapping this whatever it is on stage up. It's a half baked copycat of the first movie. It's Week's sauce.
It's weak sauce. It is.
Hey, that's sequel writing. You
It
know
is
what?
sequel.
They did a musical number in the first one. Let's have them
We'll
do
do it.
another one.
But sure enough, hey, get this.
Brilliant.
The next morning, Proposition 15 is begrudgingly removed by Raj from the agenda. And he even calls Lewis up on stage to jointly announce a new resolution to squash any hateful or illegal actions by anyone in the fraternity council again.
So just like
they're
just like
burying
rap, it was East Coast and West Coast coming together.
Justice is served.
They are burying the hatchet like you and Derek did earlier. Did y'all buy that for 1 second though?
Oh yes, I did. It was.
Y'all thought Raj was. he was
Raj
gonna
has
play
turned
nice
a new.
now?
He's turned a new
No,
leaf,
not at all.
man. The alpha betas are on board.
So Raj and his identically dressed Alpha brothers. All right, this is weird. Like I
They
get
all
it.
had the same shirt on.
I get it.
Is it-
I get it if you're all wearing the same sweater or like Rev has a like logo shirt on, but they had identically dressed like just button down shirts with like t-shirts under.
Have you not ever seen a fraternity?
I went to Sam Houston State.
Yeah, dude. I mean, the penny loafers or the boots, the same khaki pants, the same style shirt,
But identical,
the
like
same
twins.
haircut. Come
Oh
on.
no, it's 30 dudes wearing varying shades of the exact same shirt.
I'm sorry I didn't go to A&M or UT and see how like real colleges work.
Hey, I told you we didn't have that in Poughkeepsie.
I went to A&M. We had the biggest fraternity. It was called the Core. And those dudes were literally wearing the exact
Those
same thing
dudes,
because they were in
They're
uniform.
robots. All right. All right, maybe it's not weird. I'm sorry. I take back my criticism of Raj and his brothers dressing the same.
By the way, I'm not gonna. I don't know what the rules are on here, but that's damn good.
You like it?
I really,
Yeah, I like
really,
this.
really.
Oh yeah,
do.
guys, you guys smoking the
Killer Bee.
Killer Bee? Why you guys tried to call it the Yellow Jacket? Was there a trademark thing?
Yeah, somebody else had the name, so we. It's
'Cause that's
Kill-
that's a perfect name.
It's a kill. It was the perfect name, and it was the perfect cigar. I'll leave it at that. But we changed the name to the Killer Bee Connecticut. It caused us a couple of issues because people now want to call it the Yellow Jacket. We're going, please don't do that. Please don't do that.
Let me ask you some behind the scenes stuff. When that happens, are you given the option to buy the name from whoever owns the trademark, or like talk to them and be they like, yeah, we're not using it? Like, how does that work? Because there's like a master index, right? When you want to trademark a cigar, you have to file it, and they have this master list of everyone who's ever trademarked a cigar name. Am I right?
Here's the thing. Well, here's two things. Number one, it was never we had the name changed before we ever sold a box. And number two, Louisiana is the Pelican State.
Whoa.
Ooh, it is true.
That's my answer.
That's a drop the pencil right there.
I'm getting a lot of that
I just know that this is a kind of departure because I remember when the Killer Bee first came out.
We did the
And the very first one was like
Lancero.
The Killer Bee, not to be a prick. It's the Killer Bee Lonsdale.
Yes.
And we do that as an event-only cigar. So we make that available to the retailers that want to host an event.
We did that on the show.
I remember that being like a pepper just spice bomb right off the bat, and it was like that pepper spice was just boom in your face. This is so subtle coming back off of it. You still get that pepper, you still get that spice, but it's not just beating you with a freaking spice bat over the head. I like this. This has got a nice little dry palate coming across the palate. There's almost like a little breadiness to it, but there's a nice little subtle spice. There's a nice little, just kind of woodsy earth leather. It's just
I
nice.
haven't smoked this year's. James is currently they've been blended and rolled, and they're being made up now. And he tells me this year's is better. How am I not going to believe him? I mean.
I went ahead and lit up a second Lancero just for shits and grins, see if it plays, consistency wise. So far, so yes. I'm not getting any spice on the nose, which I didn't get on the original. I'm getting that milk chocolate and earthiness and a little bit of cream like we got on the first one. So far, it's playing exactly like the first Traveling Man we had. And you just lit up, so I'm going to come back to you a little bit.
So I would... It's interesting because I think Tut and I do have a different cigar palate, but I would agree. There's a good spice, but it's not smacking you in the face, and I have trouble ever picking up breadiness. I know you guys have mentioned that before, or toast, so I know that's an actual thing. I don't ever get that, but there's a nice
sourdough.
I don't want to say I would say artisan bread.
Waffle.
No, there's a spice. It's not subtle, but it's not smacking you in the head either. And look at that.
I actually think that breadiness is being pulled out by the beer.
You think so?
I would agree.
That could be.
Doctor, are you
I
getting...
would also agree that you need another beer.
Oh, I do.
Doctor, are you getting everything bagel out of that?
No bagels, no artisan bread.
Rev, I thought you were going to bring us
waffles.
some New York breakfast foods.
Oh, I got it downstairs.
Oh, he did?
He did.
I already ate it though.
Dude, Rev brings the heat. Do you
Bagels. We got New York cheese. I mean, we're good to go, man.
Oh, man. It's going to be a fun after show.
Breads,
He's a converter.
cheeses.
I told him to bring me a slice of New York pizza, and he was going to do it. I had to tell him, no. God.
First flight, it was gone.
I'm not going to
Yeah.
be that guy. Go on several flights with a slice of pizza for me. Although these two would probably tell you I am that guy.
You asked me to mail you a hot dog from spring training in Arizona.
FedEx overnight, it would still be good.
Wasn't going to be from that Cubs game, that's for sure.
So Raj and his identically dressed Alpha brothers give Lewis and the boys full access
It took me a
now
while, but
to their hot tub suite. And it seems like everybody's friends.
Matt Schwann says New York pizza dough, perhaps.
Back at the hotel, first of all, no alphas are giving up their hot tub suite to Nerds That Easy.
It shows you the good heart of the
Yes.
nerds. They want to believe.
Oh, they want to be
They want to
accepted.
believe. They want to believe
Gosh,
that there's
Roger,
goodness.
I swear I must be dreaming.
Yeah, you are dreaming. You are dreaming, Lewis. Back at their hotel, Snotty is instructing Booger that a true loogie must not retrieve phlegm from the back of the throat, like everybody thinks, but from the soul.
Dude,
True story.
Second science article
story, right
coming
there.
right up.
We also get a quick scene here where Lewis calls Gilbert to fill him in, and
This will go in the Delaware Journal.
That's right.
yeah, Anthony Edwards has to get that swimming pool. They have this little phone call conversation where Gilbert wisely tells Lewis, "Be careful. I know you think they're your friends now, but once an alpha, always an alpha." Lewis swears, "Hey, I'm not the type of weenie to be suckered again." But then we cut to Raj back at the Hotel Flamingo talking some call girls into luring the nerds into his car. And well, we know for damn sure that weenie's about to indeed get suckered once again.
Oh.
Suckered.
Okay.
Suckered. The weenie will be suckered again.
I don't know that that's any better, but
I'm just saying that Gilbert
Semantics.
Gilbert has the right
weenies
thing.
are about to get suckered
what happened
again.
last night? Everybody got their weenie suckered.
No,
Gilbert has the right idea. You don't trust the jocks.
correct.
The only jock I trust is Cody's older brother. I trust your older brother.
All right. Oh, okay. You're one weenie who is not going to get suckered again.
Well, when you put it like
That's not
that,
what you
that
said
sounds
earlier.
kinda
And we still have viewers.
That's what Derek told me.
Yeah. Any questions coming in there, Tut? Anything for me on there? No.
What?
It's understandable.
Yeah.
So Sonny, remember front desk hotel clerk Courtney Thorne Smith, Sonny, and the two whores that Raj hired, and Buzz Missinger was also in on that.
Now he's the guy who wrote Friday Night Lights. Buzz Bissinger.
Buzz Mussinger. That's what I said. They piled the nerds into Raj's convertible, and they are off. Lamar naturally wants to know, do you guys have any cute
Brothers? This is a very progressive movie for the 80s.
Well, the first Nerds was very progressive. They treated gays equally. They treated nerds
Well,
equally.
you'd never make it today. So I mean, today's oversensitive climate. So Takashi would be considered completely
Okay,
racist.
how
Takashi would be totally
how
racist.
much do you want me to go on this rant?
Not at all.
Oh,
Not at
God.
all.
Doctor.
No,
Kate, please continue.
Doctor.
Kate,
no,
back to Kate.
no,
Back
too
to
late.
Kate.
No, too late. I'm on it.
Weenie's
All right.
getting suckered.
No,
You know what?
because
Kate's going to take a little trip to the girls' room while Tuttle goes off on his...
Ooh, does that make me acting proctor?
Yes.
Okay.
No,
All
much
right.
much to Mincy's point.
I had a point.
It's easy to beat up on the original Nerds and this movie because of the stereotypes and how it's
like Ogre and just piss loudly.
Stole my fucking joke, asshole.
it's easy to beat up on them about how out of sorts it is, but you gotta put yourself back in that time. Takashi was like part of the normalization of the Japanese culture because they were our enemy. They were taking over everything in America. They were buying out Rockefeller Center. They were buying out all these beaches. They were buying out everything. That's why the movie Gung Ho was there, because the Japanese economy was just killing us. They were absolutely just buying everything, and we were all anti-Japanese. And then all of a sudden Takashi shows on the scene, and I'm like, that dude's kind of funny and cool.
No, I'm saying they would never make this movie today.
And I'm not saying they should.
Today,
but
everybody's so oversensitive that Takashi today would be considered like Long Duck Dong from 16 Candles.
Yes.
It would be a terribly... People today would say it was a terribly racist depiction of an Asian.
I totally agree with
They
that.
would not have the Omega Moos. They would say you're making fun of people with a weight problem. I don't even know if they would consider the Tri-Lambs racist. Oh, the big tough black guys come in and save the day at the end. I mean, I'm just saying today, with everybody so oversensitive about everything and no one having a sense of humor, all of these things wouldn't get done today.
I can agree. I actually can agree with that, and I understand why the sensitivity's there. But at the same time, I'm like, I remember having an argument with a friend of mine who's just very understandably Asian sensitive, because I'm sorry, Asians get
Robert Kraft style?
They get the short end of the stick on so many stereotypes in the movies. And yet at the same time, I'm sorry, I don't look at Takashi as this evil depiction, because I remember that was almost like a normalization to where it was like okay to be Asian.
Yes, it was. Today, it would be considered bad.
I can see that.
You're going in the
Best
Newcastle,
Asian
Delaware
depiction I've
Journal
ever
of
seen on
Medicine.
screen is Matt Damon in that Great Wall movie. God, he was a good Asian.
He wasn't even supposed to be Asian. He didn't even try to be Asian.
No,
he was not Asian in that movie.
Oh.
He was a
realize the hair- the hair extensions were
Caucasian. I understand your confusion because he was Caucasian.
I never saw that movie. I'm sorry. I didn't hear a lot of what you guys were saying. I will say there was a really wonderful time in American history where getting easily offended was looked at as a character flaw, not as a badge to wear.
I saved my Jesse Smollett comment until now.
Yeah, because
I still don't get what your problem is with the microphone.
I can see it. I can see it both ways. To where I'm like, I understand to where there is an oversensitivity, but I also understand to where just some mean, hateful people are using that oversensitive to where they can say the most outlandish, hurtful shit and then be like, oh, you're just fucking oversensitive? We used to could laugh about this shit. No, you're just being a fucking dick.
No, I think that's something completely different.
So does anyone here have a personal experience where you have a friend who's Asian who has ever said anything about Long Duck Dong or Takashi being something that was deeply offensive?
Sure. You got one hand up over there.
It's okay.
Yeah.
So I mean, I happen to be a white male of European descent. I don't know.
But no, that was one of
I know you well. You have no Asian friends.
One of the same things that I told.
I believe Louisiana is the against
one of the things that I told this person was that if you take out all the stereotypical kung fu movies, you would have erased my door into my infatuation with Asian culture. I would not have been exposed to any of Asian culture without the just over the top
with Asian movies, of
kung fu movies. Once I saw that, I'm like, that's kind of cool. I want to learn more about it. And then I learned what the stereotype is, and I moved past it. But I don't know. It's just a weird doorway to where you're like, all right, it's a stereotype. I know it's bad, but at the same time, it does kind of like normalize you to this is kind of all right. You can kind of approach this now.
You know, we have there's a line somewhere for sure with everything. We have you could talk about we have with our Killer Bee series, we have Wu-Tang, the tie-in with an African American rap group that ties into their
Black Label
appreciation for Asian culture with the samurai.
Right. Black Label is huge on Wu-Tang.
Right.
Wu-Tang Wednesday.
Yep.
Everybody posts their pics on Facebook with the hashtag Wu-Tang Wednesday.
Right.
I find it hilarious seeing 50, 60-year-old white guys who I see post just, a lot of pro-Trump stuff, pro-other stuff, post these hashtag Wu Wednesday stuff.
But see,
you've never listened to a Wu-Tang song. You've never watched a Wu-Tang. No, not you. These guys.
You said me.
I'm just saying. I find it hilarious seeing these guys post a Wu Wednesday, and it's like, you
even know what it is.
But to Tut's point, does it bring some normalization to
it did if
embracing of a culture?
If maybe they bought a Wu-Tang CD and it's like, why am I posting this hashtag? Let me do some research. Or, you know what? I went out and bought a box set of Wu-Tang actual kung fu movies and watched this. I feel like I should be knowing a little bit more. Cigar culture is like that a lot. There's a lot of catchy, every boutique cigar maker likes to quote rap lyrics, and Biggie Smalls and all this, and it's like, okay, and then all his 20 people that comment on everything that he does or she does or whatever, they'll be like, yeah, that's Biggie, I love that, it's.
Well, it's interesting because
I do have kind of a weird thing about it because
I understand. I came into this, I grew up here and that wasn't part of my thing, and I lived in California for a while and got more exposure. I have an aunt that lives in Hawaii. You go over to Hawaii, there's a lot of most of the culture is heavily influenced with the Asian culture. We do an event every year with the shop out there. We're very sensitive to that because we make a special cigar for them every year. Sure. And this year, we're looking at some, options for how to market that appropriately, and to the degree that we've gone to the manager, the owner, the vendor, whatever you want to call them, and said, "Look, this is what we're thinking, but
we want to make sure that it's cool with you guys. Is this respectful? Because we want to be respectful.
Of
They're
the Hawaiian culture?
Yeah,
And
of the
I-
Hawaiian culture and the Asian influence on the Hawaiian culture.
Sure.
And they're like, yeah, man, let it rip.
And I think that's where it ultimately lies down to, is when you're like, all right, this is what we're thinking. We want to make sure that we're being respectful. You can get away with a lot of shit as long as people are like, that's cool.
Yeah.
Just by asking.
And
a lot of people don't mind being made fun of, being a little
And I think universally
ribbed a little bit.
Universally,
or
it is
I
cool,
just-
and I think nobody's going to have a real problem with it. I don't know. To Tut's point, these movies were kind of our first exposure to Asians in the '80s.
Well, like when you talked about, does anybody have?
They weren't on A-Team. They weren't on Knight Rider. They weren't on the
And they're
shows,
still not.
the shows
I mean,
you would
they're
watch every day. They were in these movies, these B movies that kind of broke out, and that's kind of the only shot you got.
And to be fair, without rich, crazy Asians, they're still an underrepresented minority in film.
At the end of every episode, I look at the camera and I say, "Sayonara, motherfuckers." That's straight from Hot Dog the movie, and it was the most stereotypical Japanese.
Hot dog.
Yes.
No, that wasn't Fort Lauderdale, obviously. But it was the same thing. It was Florida and Colorado.
Nancy, if he jumps
No,
his table.
it's interesting because
I thought he was coming for me. I thought he was coming for me.
It's interesting because when you talked about, like, raise your hand if you ever had a friend that was, offended by blah, 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 blah. Justin said that he had a friend that, was offended by Big Trouble in Little China. And I'm like, that's a shame, because it's funny because Jack Burton is the stereotype in that movie.
He is John,
and that was
the goofball John Wayne making fun of Americans.
And that was a gateway into a lot of Asian culture that I never had. I would have never known any type of mysticism, which I love mythology.
The Asian acting community had they protested Big Trouble in Little China. They hated Big Trouble in Little China for how it portrayed Asians.
All I know is I had to shit can my script for middle class, slightly sane Bosnians.
I like that script. I thought you did some really good things with that.
That joke bombed. I'm taking a leak.
Can you blame the Asian community for boycotting that when most people didn't pick up on what you just said, which was Jack Burton?
Kurt Russell was the dumbass.
Right, but do you really feel
and the
like
Asians were the only one that saw him as the dumbass?
Right, a lot of people what's the problem with Jack Burton? Like, they didn't get it. So to that point, which I think we should get back to Revenge of the Nerds too, but to that point, I agree with Tuttle.
Now Derek's telling me how to run the show. Make a note here.
Never invited again.
Actually, I've enjoyed both our guests tonight. Rev's comments are measured and well thought out.
Yeah,
Derek's are passionate and off the cuff. I like them both.
Don't worry,
Both
I'll
Rev.
be back in the bathroom soon.
My God.
As soon as Mincy's comes out,
Did you bring your 12-year-old girl's bladder with you?
I said, what is every male afraid of? Someone seeing your tiny bladder.
That's not what he said.
That was what I heard. I've heard it both ways.
Well,
both ways.
So Sonny and, like I said, the two, I'm assuming they're prostitutes. They were paid to hang out with these kids.
You really went so far as to think they were prostitutes?
They took money to
escorts.
Okay.
Semantics.
It's a small hair, but it's still to be cut.
They pile their nerds into Rogers convertible and they're off. I think it's worth mentioning here. It has been established that Lewis is still dating Betty Childs. From the first film, like Tut said, he did put her framed photograph in his suitcase. But he seems all on board with rubbing coconut oil all over Sonny's back with zero hesitations. Flawed heroes can still be heroes, am I right?
He's in college.
He is in college.
That's a total UT answer. That is a total Longhorn thing to say. Hey, it was college.
Hey, wait.
It was college.
Cody's with me on this, right? I mean...
Yeah, it was college.
It was college.
All right. It turns out Sonny is a nerd deep down side, too. So Lewis is like, Betty who? I just don't see why they had to bring her into this at all if she wasn't going to be in it. Like, why make your hero, Lewis, conflicted, which he really wasn't. He forgot about her. He never mentioned her after that photograph. Why even bring her presence into this movie?
I think it was just more about tying the two films together, honestly.
Yeah, but he's supposed to be your shining white knight, and you've established with that picture in his suitcase that he's got a girlfriend. Everything he does with this other girl, why even?
No, Derek's right. It's a ham-handed attempt to make any sort of string from one to the other.
Well, it is, and it's also...
And as Rev says, it's college.
Well, that's what I was going to say. It also normalizes the experience of having what you think you know at 18 or 19 years old be normalized, and you think this is what your life is going to be, and then life happens, other things go down, and you realize there's a whole world out there. I mean, there's a whole Courtney...
You think you have everything figured out, then you go to legendary Fort Lauderdale.
Legendary Fort
And
You're hung up on that. I think it was legendary in 87.
Everything changes.
You don't believe it, call the Chamber of Commerce.
Well, they'll tell me it's legendary. That's their
back
job.
to Lauderdale.
Todd, people still watching?
Yes.
Okay.
Weirdly enough.
All right. Don't forget, like the TNCC Facebook page. Leave a comment to win those Cats Fest tickets. All four.
We float around.
That's
a big deal.
That's a big deal. They're, like I said, they're not cheap, and you will have fun. I guarantee it.
If you don't have fun, it's your own fault.
Absolutely, it is what you make of it.
It is.
Much like
I'm
most
not
things.
turning
in
it
life.
down.
Well, the nerds go on a beer run. Tut. The nerds go on a beer run. What are they whispering about over there?
They go on a beer run, you and me style. Let's drive over there in 3 cars and get as much as we possibly can.
Big time. To procure some tasty suds for their lady friends, and upon existing,
as you call them, the whores.
I did call them whores.
It's okay.
The Bible reference whores.
Where was it again, Doctor? I mean, yeah, they did reference whores, right?
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
The whore of Babylon.
Right. Toward the end of the Bible.
Did you just go to the doctor for biblical?
Absolutely. He's, it was in
It's
one
so
of the journals.
good. That's another great reason to have the Reverend here tonight, because I feel like often I'm the only spiritual person around.
There's
And
two of
having
us.
Reverend here now, I feel like there's 2 of us.
Okay. Well, the boys leave their beach babes behind as they go to the liquor store to get some booze.
Why are you looking at me and Derek?
Pooch. Come on, just say it.
They go to procure some tasty suds for the ladies, and upon exiting the liquor store, they're quickly arrested for Grand Theft Auto. A one Roger Lattimore, a.k.a. Raj, reported his convertible stolen earlier that day. What an asshole.
Fucking asshole.
Rev, can we agree?
Absolutely.
An asshole.
I agree.
What would you, in a church, what would you
They
call...
were just trying to turn water into
In the church, what would you call a Roger?
Philistine.
Yeah. How's that? A Philistine or a Samaritan or something? Yeah.
Heretic.
Okay.
A Samaritan.
Well,
those
no.
were good.
Samaritans are good. So, yeah. Well,
Samaritan.
no, probably a Philistine would be
Philistine,
best. Yes. Yeah. I agree with the doctor.
Look at the doctor on this.
Yeah. He's done a journal article. Haven't you done a journal article on that?
Yes, it's called Water into Wine and other great things about the New Testament.
That's right.
Yeah.
Science and spirituality.
That's correct.
You wrote this?
Mm-hmm.
Where's it available to read?
As far as you know.
Wasn't the
It's on the .com something?
no, the Atlanta Journal of Medicine, wasn't it?
That's correct.
Yeah.
What was it?
The Atlanta Journal of Medicine.
Atlanta Journal of
Yeah.
Medicine.
AJOM.
That's
Atlanta
a far
Journal of
cry
Medicine.
from Poughkeepsie.
You've come a long way.
Hey, everything is.
You've come a long way from Poughkeepsie State, haven't you?
Well, it wasn't Poughkeepsie State. It was the
How does
Poughkeepsie.
it feel to have a fan sitting next to you?
Fantastic. I am loving the show.
Hey, I'm a fan and I sit next to him.
This has never happened to me.
It's nice to branch out. It's nice to. I love having the Rev and Derek here. This is great. It's
Okay.
absolutely great.
Thanks, Doc.
Many different dimensions here.
Fuck you, Minty.
Todd, it's not a negative. Todd, it's not a negative against you. Goddammit, I don't know what you want me to say. I mean, for Christ's sake, I mean, it ain't killer bees in those bags.
I just want you to do that voice all the time.
Well, I mean, we can start doing that.
Rev,
Get you some
this
Facebook.
Lancero is behaving exactly like the last one.
Okay.
Pick up in strength almost at the exact same spot. That lets me know it's intentional. It is a blending decision to kick up the strength midway through. I'm still getting the earth and the milk chocolate. The creaminess has died down. That pepper on the
Any
nose is
communion
picking up.
bread still? No?
I've never got.
No. I'm just asking.
I'm going to be honest. I never ate that
No.
stuff.
Okay. Yeah.
As the tri-lambs rot away in a jail cell, back at the Alpha's hotel room, they've retaken the hot tub. Ogre is leading everyone to chant, "No more nerds! No more nerds!" They finally did it. They got rid of the nerds. Or did they? Sonny bails the nerds out, but Lewis isn't buying Sonny's pleas of ignorance. He doesn't believe that she wasn't in on the whole plan. You know what? You're not worth the lotion I squirted on you.
Wow.
That's hard.
That's a quote.
Come on,
So
Lewis, you're being a dweeb.
Lewis has now gotten some action. He's starting to figure out how things work in this whole dynamic.
Yes, he is. As they exit the police station, though, Ogre and the Alphas kidnap them, including Sonny, throwing all the nerds and her into a van. The cool guys then sail them out to a remote desert island and throw the Trilambs off the boat.
Now, why did they do this again? Because they'd had him thrown in jail. Why did they feel the
They're
indicated?
doing a vote to get rid of them, and they need them out of the picture.
Okay.
They can't show up.
So we're going to put them on a deserted island to die.
They were going to spare Sonny, but she jumps in the water willingly to get away from these douchebags. They're like, "Yeah, we let you off, baby." She's like, "Fuck this."
Would you jump, Cade?
No, they got beer and snacks and stuff. I'm probably going to stay on the boat.
I agree.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate your honesty. So if Yaks, Tut, and myself are put into the water, like, Cade, we're sparing you. You're the head honcho.
Oh, like
of
if
the
a
Tuesday
cool
night.
podcast.
You're the head
kidnapped
honcho of the
you
Tuesday Night
guys.
Cigar Club. We got to get rid of the TNCC.
If Cigar Coop kidnapped you guys, or no, who's the two guys? The Cigar Authority. They kidnap you guys, drop you off an island, and like, Cade, we spared you. You gonna hang out with us? Or you gonna go, swim with your
We
buddies?
got beer and snacks.
Yeah, they have the snack authority too, though.
And you got those.
They got beer and
you got
some of Rad's New York
cigars and
bagels.
I'll probably just stay here with you. Y'all would forgive me.
I appreciate your honesty.
No, because we're trapped on an island.
I know you're creative enough to get off.
I wouldn't have to forgive you. I'd be with you on the boat.
Yeah, I'm not jumping in the water.
I'm jumping in the water.
Good for you.
Et tu, Derek?
I haven't been in fresh water in 20 years. I don't go in water, so I'm definitely not jumping off after
Actually, I know that about you, and I would appreciate that. You'd probably be able to fool me. I would think, you know what? Cade wanted to be here with us, but like me, he has a fear of water.
I have
you
a big
didn't
time.
have a choice.
I have a
Cade
big
did.
time fear of water. I'm not, and you.
Yeah, I was thrown in.
Right.
Yeah, you're thrown in. I'm not going in voluntarily. You know what I went through in that ocean. You know my nightmare.
This was no beer accident.
No, I'm not.
This was no podcast
You
accident.
guys are when you guys get back on shore, I'd give you some wings and cheese curds. You'd be fine.
You think you can just make
That's
it all
actually
better
true.
with
Cheese
things?
curds make everything better, and you know damn well it does.
What kind of cheese curds?
That was a hint, Cody. He's going to
Pennsylvania
ask for...
cheese curds, Amish cheese curds.
Yeah, because that was a hint.
Yeah.
He's going to be
Making
asking.
sense.
He's going to be asking for cheese curds on the sample platter.
Gary told me they're out of them. And get this: when a pumped up ogre, when is he not pumped up? Everything like he wakes up in the morning just waffles. Jesus, man, his blood pressure has to be through the roof. Just take it easy. When he starts boasting about, we're going to tell everybody at the fraternity council how we screwed the nerds and we lied. They're like, we can't afford this liability. They shove him off the boat. And guess what? He can't swim. So the nerds, the kind ones, the sensitive, caring members of society swim out there and save his ass.
Good old Wormser.
Yeah, it's the only cool thing he did in the whole movie.
I don't care.
On the island, Booger discovers a weed crop. We have
got
bush. We have bush. It's PG-13. It's the only bush we're getting here, guys. I'm sorry.
And you reminded me. Thank you.
What a waste.
I'm gonna cry now.
So that night, Booger rolls a 16-inch Wonder joint, and all the nerds get high with Ogre. Well, they're getting stoned and waxing all high and philosophical. Ogre wonders aloud, what if C-A-T really spelled D-O-G? And you know what? They're nice to him.
No,
That really was a gigantic joint that they were passing around.
It was like the Romacraft.
It's like one of these microphones.
It was like the Fomorian, that Romacraft, that giant fucking hand
I'm
hog.
sorry, you think it's a throwaway line, but it's not. It's actually very, very deep because all of reality is based off of perception. And basically, what he was saying is that what if CAT really meant dog? The moment that society decides that CAT means dog, guess what? CAT means dog.
I haven't quite drank enough.
Nerd! That's deep, Ogre. You do not know how many times I have listened to friends or whatever just wax philosophic, and I have dropped that line. What if CAT really spelled dog? And everybody's just kind of looked at me blankly, and I'm just like, it's equal bullshit.
I know he's a weirdo, not funny guy now, but on his classic comedy album, Dennis Miller, on the Off-White album, had this great line where he's getting high with people, and they're like, "Hey man, what if the color blue to me isn't the same as the color blue to you?" And he's like, Tut loves my Dennis Miller impression. "Hey, look at the crayon box, asshole."
Like that impersonation kind of sounds like fucking bullshit to me. I don't know.
There's one episode.
It is all
I was actually
bullshit.
trying to remember what episode it was where I just did a bunch of really bad Dennis Miller impressions, and he laughed so hard. And it was a terrible impression, but he couldn't stop laughing. I just kept doing
I'm still laughing at it.
And it pissed me off, so I had to come in with a Frank from Return of the Living Dead.
Which made me laugh even more.
And since Derek and the Reverend liked it, this is a great podcast. We're going to get some hot dogs.
Hey, the Rangers or the Cubs?
The Cubs won the fucking ball game today, Kane. I've had
Cubs
about
won,
6
huh?
of these IPAs. What does IPA stand for? I prefer hot dogs.
I like hot dogs too.
Well, that's just great.
Oh, God, thank God baseball
O.J.
started
Simpson's
up.
in jail, isn't he?
No, he's out. He's golfing.
Yeah, that's right. I'm in a foursome with him on Saturday. Golf.
Okay.
What are we, about 25 minutes into the film now?
No, we're actually almost done.
Welcome to the Tuesday Night Cigar Club, good man.
That you just started your first crack in the exterior. Nobody asked what time it is.
It's best not to. Just realize that this is your life.
Don't worry, your bladder will get up there. It's like you don't run a marathon at first. You got to go a few miles, then you run the marathon.
So that night, Booger rolls the Wonder Joint. Ogre says the cat and dog thing that means a lot to Tut. But you know what the thing is? They're nice to him. They don't dismiss him, and he doesn't get that from the alphas.
They do more than not dismiss him.
They're like, you know what?
Like, yeah.
Yeah, that's
Whoa.
It's golden rule.
that's
Rev.
deep, Ogre.
It's two others.
Rev, you go to a lot of you're a big Deadhead, right? You go to a lot of
One or two, yeah. Shows, sure.
Do you ever get just completely just annoyed and just like done with like people talking stupid stuff at those shows?
Absolutely not.
No.
That's what it's there for. We're there
God,
to be
man,
together.
you're such a
We're there to be
centered
connected,
guy.
right? Isn't it?
He's so centered.
You go to the
That's why it's my
shows?
reverend.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, yeah.
So is Bob Weir and Mickey Hart? Are they all
No,
still in
Dead
it?
and Company's great now. I was there at the 50th for the 50th Fare Thee Well in Chicago. I mean, yeah, Dead's great. So it's its own tribe.
Are they both still in it? Weir and Hart and Phil.
All right,
Yeah,
here's
yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
He's
they
so
got-
centered. Like
you don't ask Dead fans about the Dead. It keeps
no,
going.
but I mean,
Dead and Company.
I get the impression from Rev, and maybe it's just because he puts up with us, but I just get the impression that like anybody can come with you with anything. You just don't really. Nobody really grinds your gears.
That's because he is a man of God, Kate.
It's the man
It's
of
just
God.
connected, and it's the beer. So
And the beer. You
Yeah,
drink
the beer,
you drink
yeah,
a lot.
yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, Lewis has walked away from the group once Sunny appeared at the campfire for warmth. She's finally cold and wants to get some of the campfire.
Just wanted to get a few puffs off that joint.
And well, he feels betrayed, so he walks off, and he's soon confronted by the ghost of Gilbert.
I only got
Who's
three-fourths of
not
that swimming
dead.
pool built. I got another
Who's
scene.
not dead, but I guess the secondhand weed
Hell, he needed a
smoke.
diving board for that swimming pool. He had to do another scene.
He's wearing an Obi-Wan Kenobi robe, and he tells Lewis, "You need to act like the leader that the nerds need." He tells Lewis, "You're acting like a weenie, and you need to get off this island and save the Tri-Lambs."
Sounds profound.
Well done, Anthony Edwards. Hope you enjoyed your swimming pool.
He did.
You know who's never sold himself out for a fancy swimming pool, boys?
Booger.
Dirty Fabian at Drew Estate.
Oh.
And if I'm talking about unconventional Fabian, then you know I'm talking about Tobacco Special cigars. Brought to you by the folks who created Sweet Jane, La Vieja Habana, and much more. Available in your choice of either extra dark Connecticut broadleaf or natural Connecticut shade wrappers. They envelope a Sumatra binder and a Nicaraguan, say it,
Criollo.
Criollo.
Yeah, but Fabian's a Yankees
Phillies.
fan. I envy you, Fabian.
Before aging, the cigars are slowly infused with Nicaraguan estate-grown coffee. The smoke is medium to full-bodied, depending on the wrapper. It's rich tobacco flavors commingling with the unmistakable aroma of coffee and some sweetness. A perfect early morning smoke, and if you don't believe me, then try one for yourself. Do you believe me?
I do.
Do you believe me?
I do.
Do you believe me?
Absolutely, Cade.
Do you believe me?
Of course.
I was hoping for, do you believe me?
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right, well. If you don't,
You sounded like you wanted some
try one for
dissension there.
yourself.
You're like, all right, everybody believes me.
Well, I just said if you don't, try one
Take
for yourself.
Cade back to paradise.
Take me back to paradise, please.
This must be just like nerds in paradise.
And those nerds don't wanna go home.
Again, Tut, next time can we get Fritz?
Yeah, I'll try.
Oh, okay. I'm only trying my best here.
Oh, sorry. No, that was good. That was good. David Lee Roth. Skibbidoo-bop-a-doo-bow.
It was good.
So the next morning, Lewis wakes up everybody and fires up
And
both
other
the
insults.
nerds and Sonny to help him get the hell off this island. They use their nerd math skills to find a bunch of buried military equipment, T2 style. There's this bunker underneath the island, and they're all set. So the nerds arm themselves in army fatigues and weapons, like Commando if he had no muscles. Where do they put all these bullets in there? Like, are they gonna shoot people?
No, but it was a fun little throw off to Commando. The whole getting the.
It was. And when,
Yeah, but I mean, are they really prepared to go back to the fraternity council
No,
and kill
but
people?
no, that's not what it was intended. But it was still a fun little throwaway.
It meant business.
It's intimidation.
And when he turned and did that 3/4 thing to the camera, could you not see the Matt Groening drawing of a nerd? I mean,
Okay,
It was fun. Lay off the film. It was good.
we'll be the judge of what's good around here.
I am the judge. It's good.
If you're gonna fill a bandolier with bullets and grenades,
Come on, it's not that movie.
they did it.
I know,
They
it was
stormed
funny.
into Fort
That was the
Lauderdale.
director's cut. They go in and kill everybody. Dude, Lewis is throwing those saw blades like Arnold and Commando, just slicing off Alpha Beta's arms left and right.
Dude, Alex Jones. There was no nerds. There was no bullets. There was no grenades. They can't commandeer. Did I use that word right, Jens? They commandeer a giant amphibious
No, you
tank.
did not, because commandeer means that somebody was operating it and then they stole it from them.
They
just
fire up an amphibious tank. I asked Yax. Raj is
Sometimes, Derek, we get lost in vernacular and vocabulary, and it tends to make things run a touch
I'm kind
long.
of picking up on the formula here.
Yeah.
It's why I asked. Yax. He's much more sensitive and tells me when I'm wrong in a nice, gentle
At
way.
the Poughkeepsie Institute of the Technical Science, we didn't take English literature.
And guess what? This tank that they fire up.
it's not really a tank, it's more like an amphibious vehicle.
It's a hover.
Me fail English? That's impossible.
It's a big fucking machine.
Amphibious vehicle.
An amphibious assault vehicle.
An amphibious assault vehicle. Can we agree on that?
There you go.
and it gets him off the island. Raj is holding a motion back on shore to disillusion the Tri-Lambs for their perceived crimes. They stole his car. And if they're not there to defend themselves, hey, guess what? It's game over. Well, suddenly the nerds tank... the nerds' amphibious assault vehicle burst through the meeting hall just in time before Raj can pound his gavel, and then they keep driving the amphibious assault vehicle straight into the Hotel Flamingo pool. Nice driving point, Dexter.
Oh, you can't see.
There was that really funny scene early on where he was flirting with a cardboard cutout of a model.
Goes to get her a drink and walks in the pool.
And then he walks into the pool with his three-piece suit.
I'm sorry, I love Poindexter. He is so one note, and he plays the note so well.
According to Armstrong, who claims to be a nerd, he said that not nerds, decidedly, in the 80s, were Timothy Busfield and Larry B. Scott, who played Lamar Luttrell. He said those dudes were party animals and ladies' men.
Wow. Oh, he's not gay, Lamar.
No. He said he was a
cocksmith,
chick magnet, and him and Busfield were drinking every night and partying and hooking up with chicks.
Mm-hmm. Gotta get this book.
Yeah.
I would love to read his book, but I'm not going to read his book until he's on our show.
Oh, here we go.
Let it go, man.
Raj tries to keep Lewis from speaking, but some brothers from another Tri-Lam in a different state exert some muscle and shut the alphas down. Brother?
That's what I'm saying.
Brotherhood. That's why you picked this movie, and it's all starting to make sense, Rev. That's why we're here. Raj isn't giving up, though. He pleads to Ogre, look at these guys. They're wearing funny clothes. They're different. They're a bunch of losers. But Ogre's eyes have been opened to the way of the nerd, so he stands silent. When confronted by Sonny about staging the car robbery, Raj admits to it out in the open. Yeah, I did it. I staged the whole thing for them to steal my car. Damn it. Well, you know what? They're geeks. They're pencil necks. We got to get them out of here.
That's what he says to his face. He goes, what are you going to do about it?
Hmm?
You're a geek. I'm not. You're a pencil neck. I'm strong. What are you going to do?
No, he says you'll do nothing about it. To which Lewis cold cocks Raj right in the cheek and sends him flying in the pool.
Can we take a time out? I think this is worth mentioning. He says, you're right, there's nothing I can say about it. But there is something I can do about it.
Oh.
And then lands the haymaker.
Yeah.
It's profound.
This is moment, and Gilbert said you have it in you.
We all have those moments, right?
You ever cold cock somebody, Rev?
Where we choose. We have those moments where we choose to respond. Right?
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
Have you ever punched somebody in the face, Rev?
Louisiana
is the Pelican State.
Is the Pelican State.
Indeed it is. Derek, you ever punched somebody in the mouth?
I have. I have.
It's funny how after 4 of those, the Pelican thing goes out the window.
John Butler, if you're watching this, go fuck yourself.
Fuck you, John Butler. We hate that guy. TNCC is anti-John Butler.
Fuck John Butler.
I don't know who you are, but fuck you.
Thanks, Tut.
Good call.
Or in the words of James Hong, fuck you.
Fuck you.
Died and made you God.
Died made you God. The fraternity council erupts in cheers. Nerds, nerds. In a good way. They love the nerds. Dude just knocked his ass out. I've seen you punch some dudes out. I know you've done it.
Let's be fair, though. In Yak's defense, he has had to employ self-defense. He runs a business. He tries to keep it a...
Oh, no, this is at Whataburger at 3 a.m.
Oh, okay. I was trying to stick up for you that you...
For my fries.
That's my fancy ketchup, you motherfucker.
He's just kicking ass.
Yeah. Cody just got pissed. Cody just got pissed off that someone ordered the Monterey burger and he punched them.
The best Yak Boy ass kickings are when he's on the clock and it's somebody being disrespectful.
Cody and his brother want to run a business that people can feel safe at. I certainly
here
feel
in
safe
downtown historic Temple, Texas.
Did you clear my presence with Cody before the show?
Yes.
I think I mentioned he was coming, didn't I?
No.
That's not the same as clearing.
No. Oh, God, did you beat up Derek at some point?
No.
Oh, okay.
Oh, look, Cody. And
Does
his
he
brother-
look like he would be the guy that's going to come in and be the alpha beta?
UTA.
Instigator, always trying to get things going. I think maybe you ought to take a look at Derek again.
You know he's a rat.
Guy seems kind of like a son of a bitch.
Speaking of rats, I'll take a moment to talk about the Drew Estate rat bite. No, I'm just kidding. We close. So we've all punched guys in the face. It happens. Some of them deserved it. Maybe someone didn't.
Most
deserve it.
not all.
Especially
Butler
James Butler.
John Butler. He deserved it.
Fucking cocksucker. We close with a...
Fuck you! I'll tell you anything, Dick Brain.
Doctor, do you think that the psychological ingratiated into his psyche of Derek with this John Butler character, will that ever leave his soul, or is that something he's going to have to wrestle with? We always hold this animosity towards this John Butler character, or can he move on with his life?
Well, Mr. Cade, I would say it's far too early to tell, but from what I know of John Butler, he must be a tremendous piece of shit. I mean, my God, what a horrible person he must be. This man here is a saint. He's giving out free cigars.
He's a good guy.
John Butler must suck aardvark cock. He must just be terrible. I don't like to say this, especially with another man of God present, but burn in hell, John Butler. Burn in hell.
I think you're right.
I just looked up John Butler on the internet. He's apparently saved a family of 3 from a fire. He donates.
Oh, it's a common name, Tut, for God's sake. There's probably 7,000 John Butlers. Derek's John Butler. It's like El Guapo. We all have an El Guapo. We all have a John Butler.
It's something we always have to wrestle with.
I got to tell you, this Voodoo IPA is making me smarter by the second.
Point of order: when you do review the Three Amigos, I would like to be invited back.
Oh, Three Amigos.
Is that when Derek comes in instead of a cigar? It's a sweater!
We're going to need 6 sombreros.
But I'm also a bigger fan.
I don't have money for that.
Would you say we're going to need a plethora of... All right, let's get back to this. We got to wrap this up.
I love me some Hefe.
It is one of my top 5 movies of all time. So we'll God, it's so good. We'll get to it.
Actually, the first date with the first official date with my wife when we decided that we were going to like make a go of things was supposed to be to the Three Amigos, but it was sold out, so we watched Tom Cruise Oblivion.
Ooh. Boy, that's a weird...
That is a total...
No, it's not, because...
That's a weird audible.
It is, but...
You don't want to die with a sissy guy?
You don't want to watch a sissy movie?
But we enjoyed each other's company through Oblivion, so I knew she was the one.
Well, it's a movie. You can't talk. You're just sitting
Here
there.
is the Reverend. Together we rode off on the horse. Rode off on the women. Brave the horses. Who the hell are you?
Smoke the traveling men. Smoke the traveling men.
Some of the guys.
All right, wrap this shit up.
Well, I gotta wait for Derek to get out of the John. Dude, I actually... This second Traveling Man is acted just like the first. 2/3 in, spice kicks up.
Yep.
It's got the cream, it's got the milk chocolate. It's a tasty cigar. I liked it. And construction's been great.
I dug it.
All the relights I've had to do is just from me talking too much.
Yep.
The beer,
Beer's phenomenal.
you guys like it?
Cade talks too much. New Hampshire Journal.
I do. It's kind of like it's a toned down IPA. It's not an in your face ballsy IPA.
The hops are way tuned down for what we usually do.
But it still has enough flavor to where it's actually a legitimate IPA. I like it.
I liked it too, and I really liked how when you guys smoked the Black Label, the Connecticut Killer Bee, did it stay out of the way of that one as well?
For me, it did.
Actually, I thought it kind of brought out some of the breadiness in the Black Label Connecticut.
I have a trouble with breadiness.
It's really weird.
It's funny how palates work. Folks, you cigar guys watching this right now, let us know if there's any kind of flavors that you read in reviews that you just never get. I'm curious, because Tut has never got cream or creaminess in a cigar. We get it all the time. You don't get butter? Is that right?
No.
But it's interesting though because
We've gotten butter in cigars. Cody doesn't get butter.
it's the same thing. I mean, with food and wine is a big thing where people really get into what they pick up from different wines, different notes, different, and really with wine it's the same thing. People will pick up different types of fruit, different types of
Right.
mineral and things like that. So it really is a subjective experience. I think that's one of the beautiful things about cigars. It's going to be different. You can smoke the same cigar tonight and have it a week later, and maybe what you had for dinner. And quite honestly, I mean, just spending it in the company, just being around a bunch.
Well, it's kind of like what Jose Blanco says, is that the worst cigar that you can ever smoke is the cigar that you're smoking with an asshole.
Yeah.
I was going to say too that I just saw Steve Saka posted about he's changing his diet. And he was saying that some of his palate is off a little bit.
Yeah, he went to keto and it starts
way off.
messing with your palate a little bit. The sweet, because you're
whatever you're doing,
you start to get a lot more sweetness, or
it has a lot to do with everything you're having.
To the point where I think he said that he was going to stop blending until he gets through this.
I think that's what I saw too. Yeah.
That's like crazy messing with your palate.
I don't want Steve Saka blending shit when he doesn't feel like.
Why not? Go on it.
Steve Saka.
No, I actually told him, I was like, that sounds like a perfect branding opportunity. Blend something while you're on the keto diet and then market that shit as the keto cigar.
It works.
It tracks.
I gotta go.
See it.
I gotta go.
I can
test.
see it.
But so much of it is too like how often do you have a smoke after you've had a meal, and that meal is going to be part of that specific subjective experience.
Look, that's
Well, it's the same thing with like alcohol as well. We were cooking steaks this weekend, and my wife, I was like, "What do you want to drink?" to Jenny, and she was just like, "Wine. Wine is awesome with steaks." So I was just
Wine's awesome with everything.
pretty much.
So I play golf, and golf is a cigar sport.
Wine's awesome with mowing the grass.
I mean, you can be.
You know what's great at funerals?
Just
Wine.
just how even windy the day is can affect the cigar you're having.
Yep.
I mean, it's a good point. Your environment, your circumstances, everything affects everything. I think this beer in particular stayed out of the way of both, from what you guys are saying, of the Connecticut Killer Bee. It definitely stayed out of the way of the Traveling Man. I think it was a good pairing beer for tonight. But yeah, I'm with Tut too. For me, man, it's gonna be hard for an environmental factor to fuck up my cigar. Derek, yes?
Yeah, I mean, look, sometimes when you're on the manufacturing side, you get a lot of complaints about, oh, well, this didn't taste right, or this. It's like, well, what did you eat? Are you on medication? When was it a morning, afternoon, or night smoke? What conditions were you smoking it in? Because we're certainly open to the idea that maybe we fucked something up. It doesn't happen often, but it does happen. But more often than not, we'll get a box of cigars when there's a complaint, which doesn't happen often. But when it does happen, a shop or somebody says, we have 3 cigars that were bad, we want to send the other 17 back. We said, okay, we'll replace them. Mm-hmm. And then we get the 17.
Construction issue or something.
It's never a construction issue.
But if it's just like this tastes weird.
Well, when we get the 17 back and we smoke them, and we're like, no, I mean, it could be something else. What did you pair it with? Nobody is infallible on the manufacturing side, on the consumer side, on the retailer side. There's just a lot of moving parts, man. It's right. The best thing to do is do like what we're doing tonight. Smoke different. This is my 3rd different cigar tonight with the same beer, which is a really good thing to do, because I could have changed. Well, Thanks for providing the beers, by the way. But I could have drank 3 different beers with 3 different cigars and
Thanks
said
for
they all
providing
suck.
cigars.
But then you don't know what's going on.
Right.
When you keep the spirits consistent, then
If you're really fucking serious about knowing what if a cigar is any good or not, smoke 4 of them and smoke all of them with water. If you have to drink anything.
yeah, we had that talk with Robert Holt at Cats Fest 6, which you can win tickets to tonight. And he talked about the blending process and how it's just drinking water, and just
Absolutely.
this is a guy we've drank moonshine with.
Oh my God!
100
yeah.
beers with, whiskey with. It's like water.
Fish pee in it.
Well, that's why there's 20. Hey, Cade, hold on. That's why there's 20 cigars in a box, or 30 in tonight's case, or whatever. I mean, smoke 4 or 5 with water, and then you got 15, 16, 17 cigars left with.
That's also why
whiskey and beer and gin.
That's why the Tuesday Night Cigar Club will never blend a cigar.
Well, you have
We're not
the.
gonna
What did you call
drinking
the?
water? We're not going to sit there drinking water all day.
Well,
I'm no dingling.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
there's not anything wrong with that.
Is there a for water here? I mean, what is
No.
Okay.
No, you drink your beer.
Okay, I'm just asking. So.
We close the movie with a ceremony back at the Nerds Hotel where they initiate one Frederick. How do I say that?
Kalaweski?
It doesn't matter.
Aloysius
Aloysius.
Polowatsky,
Polowatsky.
ogre. Into the Tri-Lambs. He's got his plaid slacks, his bow tie. They shove a pocket protector in his shirt, and he's officially a nerd. A dumb as shit nerd, but as Tut often says, I guess it tracks. He takes a drink, a chug, picks up. It's like a ceremonial punch bowl, but he just picks it up and chugs it, me style. And Booger and Snotty actually concocted that mix. You know it's good.
Oh, you know.
It's a done deal. He's a nerd. He starts laughing, honking like only a nerd can. Tut. And then we freeze frame on him. Not only have the nerds won over Ogre, they've won, period. The end.
Take me back to paradise.
I actually disagree with the scene. Part of being a nerd is you accept people for being the nerds. When you look at the original nerds, and even the nerds too, to some extent, you know, they were all different. They didn't have pocket protectors. It wasn't part of a uniform. Booger's totally different from Lamar. Lamar's totally different from Poindexter. Poindexter's different from Wormser. Wormser's different from Lewis.
Yeah, they're making them conform.
And then all of a sudden you got Ogre. Let Ogre be Ogre. That's part of being a nerd. That's part of nerd culture. It's just
So
you're fucking
agree
different.
This movie stinks.
No, but yeah.
No, but yeah. The end.
So, yes.
I'm just saying you don't need to put people in boxes.
Okay. Correct. That's what's great about the nerds. Lamar is different from Booger. Booger's different than Poindexter. You're absolutely right. But they
Fucked it up.
Came up with this ceremony. And did any of you boys see any of the other 2 sequels? Part 3, The Next Nerds, The Next Generation,
Actually,
or
yes.
4, Nerds in Love?
I have not.
I didn't even know there was.
You haven't seen those?
They were made for TV movies.
Yeah.
I saw them, but I only barely remember them. I know that in the third
And
one,
I barely all I
the third
remember-
one, they bring back Ted McGinley as Stan Gable.
Oh, no, he's in all 3 and 4.
He comes back in 3. Morton Downey is
Morton
the...
Downey Jr. is in one of them.
Face from 18. Okay.
No, he's like the old school
Four is
Beta.
Booger gets married.
Yes, and she senses that
Armstrong in his book went off on them. He called, well, first of all, after doing part 2, he called it an embarrassment.
But yeah, he took
Wait.
But yeah, he took the check.
Wait. Yeah, I was gonna say. Okay, so I didn't even know there was a 3, 4, and is there a 5?
No.
Okay, I didn't even know there's a 3 and 4. There was all this consternation about Booger coming back for 2.
So
The character was obviously in the 3 and 4. Was it the same actor?
It was him. Armstrong came back.
Fuck him then.
Yeah,
Curtis.
I do have a
No,
problem.
fuck you.
I do have a problem. No, I agree with you, Todd. I do have a problem with actors where that's your job. You don't do something else during the day.
Like
you make
John
a living
Oliver
as an
said,
actor.
Oh, the places you can go fuck yourself.
And you pick
Curtis
up a
Armstrong.
check, and then you talk shit about something you were in where you picked up a check. I do have a bit of a problem with that personally.
Sure.
They were made for TV movies. He claimed that he was embarrassed by part 2. He took the check. According to him in his book, Robert Carradine kept talking about how they were going to do the next Nerds movie.
He was all bad.
Yeah, he kept coming back to him, and so Armstrong now for him. And again, I'm with you on this, Todd, because like I said, Armstrong makes a lot of money now, and as for the last 10 years. But the early 90s were probably some lean years for him.
Yeah.
So he took those checks. He complained about the movies. He said, I think in the Booger Gets Married one in part 4, they bring some other people in, like they'll have someone be Gilbert and be Wormser, and it's just like someone else that they just, hey, Gilbert Wormser's here, and it's somebody else, and they just show for a minute.
Right.
And he was like, that's bullshit. And it's like, okay, I still have an issue with that. With if you took the check, by all accounts, I don't remember them.
I don't either. All I remember is I think it was in part 4, Nerds in Love, where Betty Childs and Lewis have a baby, and James Cromwell holds it up to the sun and goes, "Behold the nerd child."
It's cool line.
Do you remember that? Oh yes.
Yeah. We've officially jumped the shark.
Armstrong said,
You jumped the shark.
And Armstrong said after they made part
Make a
4,
cigar
he
called
said he
Jumping
went
the
home,
Shark.
poured himself a scotch, watched the first movie, and said,
That's the way
I'm
the
done. I'm not doing
goes.
any more. But
After the 4th one?
yeah, again, it's there. I like the book. I like what Armstrong wrote. There's a lot of good stuff in there. There's some really good stuff about the first Nerds and about Risky Business with Tom Cruise. And
Derek's never seen Risky Business.
Thanks
Look,
for
af-
exposing me.
Look, after 92...
I'm the rat.
After,
Wait, but isn't it you that hasn't seen, what was it, The Big Lebowski?
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
Yeah, so how about let's make a pact right now.
Show.
Your precious doctor
I
hasn't
have
seen
to
it
partner
either.
with Cade. I have not seen The Big Lebowski either.
But I don't have we don't have a thing.
look, after...
We do.
I don't have vendetta against you.
After,
I will watch Risky Business when you watch The Big Lebowski.
No, because I don't care if you watch Risky Business.
And I I don't care if you watch The Big Lebowski.
Here's the most interesting
This
thing.
is where the conundrum starts.
The most interesting thing.
Not really.
I didn't you tell me when the Armstrong book first came out? Didn't you tell me that you had read somewhere where Tom Cruise's camp, his lawyers or whatever, had talked to Armstrong and he had to excise some things?
Correct. He had to cut out some things from his book about the Risky Business.
Which is interesting because
Fuck that, dude.
well, here's what's interesting about
he did it.
Here's what's interesting about that.
because he's a
Write the check.
bud.
One of the things Armstrong says, now whether this was included afterwards or not, he said at the time Tom Cruise was 19. He said he was an ambitious, energetic young guy. He said I liked him. He was a fun guy. He said I didn't know there was no way to know what he was going
Not
to do.
there's
This
any-
sounds like a porn star who regrets her decisions.
No, he said there's no way. He said there was no way to know what was going to happen to him later in life. He goes, I can say one thing, and this is Armstrong. He goes, I can say one
Yes.
thing. The questions about his sexual orientation. He goes, he wasn't gay in 1982. He said he had one hot blonde chick coming out of his room after another, and
One beard after another.
Armstrong claims that he personally walked in on Tom Cruise banging Rebecca De Mornay.
That's a
So he was
beard.
like, I don't know where it comes from. He goes, back then, he was running a train.
Okay.
He had a picture of John Oates from the Hard Bodies magazine.
Matt Cade was Mr. October. Interesting insight there, Doctor.
I'm just saying, don't bitch about it. You took 4 checks from it. You appeared in 4 movies.
Oh, I hate that touch.
Don't bitch
I
about
can't
it.
stand
Look,
it.
I like him in Revenge of the Nerds 1. I liked him in 2. I loved him in Better Off Dead. I loved him in Moonlighting. I got nothing but respect for him
Absolutely.
and those things that he's done. But to hear this, and yes, I still am going to read the book.
3 and 4.
But dude, like hearing this is really you never want to meet your heroes, right? You don't want to, you know, it's a
No, but you're right. You're right. They're gonna let you down. And I've always liked Armstrong. He has a couple of scenes in what for me is a early 21st century party movie, The First Man Wilder, where he plays the campus security guard.
Can
I love Armstrong.
Oh my God, yeah.
But no, I'm with you. I hate hearing that. I hate hearing that. You took the check. Shut the fuck up. You took the paycheck. It's more than most of us make in a year, probably. Shut up and take the check and don't talk bad about it later on.
I don't even begrudge him taking the check. I begrudge the fact of coming back later and talking shit about it.
Yeah, absolutely. No, absolutely. You took the money. That's fine. We'd all do it.
Well, that's the one thing. You know the guy who plays Marlon in Arrow?
No. That sounds like some fucking
the guy from
John
the Shark Attack
Barrowman.
movie. The guy from the Shark Attack movie.
The guy from the Shark Attack
John
movie.
Barrowman.
John Barrowman. Okay, so nowadays he's got a good gig off of Arrow. He's making plenty of money. But before Arrow, he was in the Shark Attack movies. And this was like a straight sci-fi channel.
He probably got paid $40 grand before tax.
And the cool thing about him is that when you talk to him about Shark Attack, he's like, yeah, I was in it. It's fun project. We did what, you know, I'm not going to say it's fucking Shakespeare in the Park, but it was fucking a movie. It was good. We did our deal. I love that. I love the fact that, all right, so now he's a little bit more of an established actor. He's not shitting on the shit that he took earlier. I love that. I'm sorry.
It's a huge dichotomy.
Look, we understand what working actors are. Sometimes you make duds. Sometimes you make brilliant art. Just don't shit on stuff. Especially when you're fucking taking the money for it.
It's a huge dichotomy. So there's two specific examples I can think of recently. One, I recently rewatched Happy Gilmore, and we were talking about Bradley Whitford and Billy Madison, who is one of the greatest slapstick comedy. Christopher McDonald is Shooter McGavin. He's fantastic. And I was reading his IMDb page, and he said he initially turned it down, not because he had any problem with the subject matter, but he said I played kind of that bad guy asshole in a bunch of movies. I didn't want to get typecast. And he said then he met Adam Sandler, and he said I loved Adam. He was smart. He was funny. And he goes, they paid me a shitload of money. And he goes, my golf game got sick. I was playing 6 days a week. And he was like, I loved it. He was like, it opened so many doors for me. He was like, I was in Happy Gilmore. I got so much more work. And this is a working actor. And
right.
He is not, he's made a ton of money, but he's been in a bunch of stuff. And then you read where another guy, I like him as work anyway, but it was about 5 or 6 years ago where John Cusack made the statement, I will no longer do a studio movie. And it was like, you know what? It's kind of like, okay, why don't you just do it and not say it? Right. Because 2 years prior to that, you took the Hot Tub Time Machine money. And I like that movie. It's a fun movie. I like it. But it's like if you're... Right. I really like it. But it's like if you're going to go then a couple years later, I'm not doing studio movies anymore. It's like, all right, just do it and don't say it. Because you know what, asshole? You took the fucking Con Air money. You took the Hot Tub Time Machine money. You've made God knows how many millions of dollars in your life. So if all of a sudden at age 50, you're like, I'm only doing indie movies. Well, yeah, you can. Because you're fucking rich. Just do it and don't say it. So I'm totally with you on that. I like Armstrong to try to bring it back to where we're at, but it's the same thing. It's like, dude, you took the money. Okay, it's a disappointing movie, but then you did Nerds 3, you did Nerds 4, you took what they paid you. Don't talk shit about it.
Look, as somebody who's a layman, you guys study this shit. Like, you're into film. We know Kate's background. We know what y'all do every week. But you mentioned earlier that Armstrong is making good money now, and as a layman, I don't know how the fuck that's happening. I don't see him in fucking anything that I want to see.
So it's voiceover work. You heard an interview with Hank Azaria on The Simpsons. Now, Armstrong is a regular voice on American Dad, which has been on TV since 2005. It's still on. He's not one of the main principal guys. It's Seth MacFarlane and a couple
But
others.
he's still probably making 50 to 75 G's a year just from.
Well, he came back. He came back on the scene with Supernatural
episode.
I mean,
he came back on the scene with Supernatural as well. He was a
with
recurring character.
syndication,
On,
he's probably
it's a sci-fi TV show that
He
was
doesn't
kinda
need
popular.
money.
It also blew up on the comic scene, the Comic-Con scenes.
Okay. Well, and I know I may seem ignorant, but for a lot of people, for the people out there that might be still listening or watching, like, they're probably more like...
There's four of them.
Todd, okay.
Hey, let me say something about let me know when I can do the beanie thing.
Do it.
All right, so, we talked earlier about the donation for CFW. We talked about the cigars for CFW. I didn't want to disrupt the show for this, but also I brought one...
Derek, the cigars for TNCC is an awesome idea. I want to thank
This
you.
is a charity that's very dear to my
I wanna
heart.
thank
I love when
you.
I benefit from it
Cigars
personally.
for TNCC.
All right, so
I'm sorry.
those of you who might still give a shit and might still be here,
Yeah.
I brought a beanie tonight, a Black Label beanie. I'm giving it away to somebody who can.
I'll take it.
I'll put another post up.
Oh, you can give it.
It'll be much smaller than the CFW donation post, but if you want the hat, I want you to post on or comment on the post that I'm going to make on TNCC about. Tell me, we have two brands, Black Label Trading Company and Blackwork Studio.
Right.
In Black Label Trade Company, we did 4 limited editions. Blackwork Studio, we have 3 limited editions, so there's 7 total. I want you to tell me the order in which they were released to the mass public, because yes, we did have to get some stuff in pre-FDA, but I'm not talking about that. Tell me in order, if you can tell me in order the number of the 7 LEs that we've done in order, I'll send you a Black Label beanie.
I'm going to guess that Danny Medina is going to win this contest.
Danny, if you're there, you probably already bought one anyway, but I have 2 hats too. So one you wash the smoke in, one you have to look fucking cool.
He
like
is a
it's never
hardcore.
been
Okay.
worn.
Well, you just laid down the gauntlet. That's how you get a beanie. I will say
I
this.
do recognize that name from the viewership.
Oh, was he tuning in?
He totally was.
Yeah, he's a big Black Label guy.
Wait a minute,
And
it's
a
John
big-
Butler!
and a
You
big
son of a
guy.
bitch!
John Butler, you are fucking automatically disqualified.
You can't win.
Danny Medina, do your shit. You better fucking win this.
Tell you what, you can get John Butler a house call from the doctor.
Did you guys see if Dan Gunselman, the screenwriter, did he
was on that.
Did he get in on any point?
Yeah,
He's
he
actually
said,
been
fuck
hiding
you.
under the table for the last 2 hours.
He made some comments, right?
Okay, I want to say this before
Fuck these guys.
we leave. It's actually a pretty abbreviated show for what we do.
No, not really.
No.
It
No,
didn't
it's
turn
not.
out that way.
Hey, but
Hey, according to my notes, it
let's
was.
let's
but
give a huge shout out to the Rev and
no,
Derek
no, no,
for
no.
hanging in.
I will give them shout outs,
Oh,
but I want
sorry.
to. I got one
Overstepped my
more.
boundaries.
Thanks, doctor.
I got one more. No. We will give you shout outs.
Okay, fuck you, doctor.
I want to say one more thing. I was surprised to learn that Lambda exists in real life.
Yeah.
Really?
On January 15th, 2006, the University of Connecticut founded the co-ed Lambda social fraternity. It's unaffiliated with Greek life, and it is dedicated to the enjoyment and enrichment of pop culture and to the brotherhood of its members. The Trilambs do not discriminate based on race, gender, religion, class, ability, gender identity, or sexual orientation,
Or blood alcohol content.
or blood alcohol content. How about that? A cool campus fraternity story for once, not involving broomsticks or date rape.
At Sam Houston, weren't you part of Nambla?
No. You can't prove that. I went under my
Pull up the
alien.
picture. Pull up the picture.
Hey, I don't care what they say.
That's why you're here with the doctor.
Good. That's pretty good.
I went under my assumed name back then, Derek Matthews.
Wow.
Now, if you had said Robert Kraft, that would have been so much better.
Or Dan Glubowitz or whatever.
Dan Gunselman,
Gunselman, the guy that wrote this piece of shit.
the Trinams.
Wait. Piece of shit. Are we summarizing that this was a piece of shit?
I felt like it was a bad carbon copy of the original, and I didn't feel the heart and soul. It was okay.
Yeah, I won't go piece of shit. I'll agree with what you just said.
Shit, but it was okay.
Are we going to do a round table? How do you do this? Do you do a round table?
Yeah, I'm going to start with Tut.
I thought it was fine.
You liked it.
I really did.
You liked it a lot.
I did. To me, there was a little bit something that was kind of wholesome with this, and maybe it was kind of like I don't know. I appreciated it for what it was. The one thing that I kind of, it just kind of popped in my brain box here. If you think back to the first movie where you have the Tri-Lambs that were an all-black fraternity, and yet
there was so much going on in that first movie.
Yet they
Let's face it,
accept
gentlemen, you're nerds.
they accept this geek fraternity that was just nerds. I'm sorry, they're all right. Here comes just a whole bunch of expungent. You have this celebration of nerd and geek culture now, to where whether you're talking about Big Bang Theory, you're talking about all this nerd culture.
Well, Big Bang Theory is just shit culture.
Well, it's actually, I had a friend that described
show that,
Shots fired from Cage.
it's a stupid show that doesn't represent geeks or nerds. It's
Actually,
just
I
stupid.
heard
It's just stupid.
I heard another nerd friend describe it as
Haley Coco.
blackface culture, to where blackface nerd culture, to where it was like so making fun of nerds, and yet it was under the disguise of, holy shit, I almost debunked my entire argument earlier.
I thought you were crying.
Where it was,
You wiped out. I thought you were like,
It ain't over yet.
well, I kind of am. I mean, I'm sorry. There was a point to where being a nerd in the 80s, that was not fun.
Right.
Revenge of the Nerds was the first movie that actually made nerds kind of acceptable. I'm not going to say cool, because you were still making fun of nerds. Big Bang culture, or Big Bang Theory, when it first came out, was still making fun about nerds. It just, we ain't marrying Kelly Kukoc. We ain't making, it's kind of a weird dichotomy to where it just, we're not that much more progressed from Lewis.
I'm sorry. If you're going to... I know we're trying to get out of here.
Yeah.
If you're going to compare Revenge of the Nerds and what it did for nerds, and the way they felt about themselves, and the uprising of, hey, this did something for us. If you're going to compare that to the fucking Big Bang Theory, that's a piece
I will
of
actually
shit.
say no. I will actually
Bullshit
say
show that's not funny, not
bullshit.
clever.
I will actually.
All I know,
Bullshit.
it was
I will
trying to
actually
be the
say-
alpha betas, wasn't it?
I will actually say. I will
Fucking
actually
nerds.
say that Big Bang Theory
I've tried
was
to
more
watch
of a
it.
nerd
Wait.
revolution than Revenge of the Nerds was.
Jesus Christ.
Wait.
That thing is a piece of crap. Dude, the jokes on that show are so elementary level bullshit jokes. Well, I guess I need to check my abacus. Dude, that show is a total joke of anything. To compare to what Revenge of the Nerds, I get what you're saying about Revenge of the Nerds. I won't give a shred of credibility to Big Bang Theory. That is a total nonsense corporate bullshit series that does nothing to advance nerd culture, advance
I
anything.
will put that you see more superhero shirts in Target because of Big Bang Theory.
Oh, well, then
than
I guess
you
I'm
do.
wrong.
Called you a rat-faced son of a bitch. Go ahead.
I guess if my kid can get a Flash shirt in Old Navy,
You're
then
awesome with me.
Big Bang Theory is worthwhile. Come on, man. That show is not funny.
You guys are comparing apples to oranges.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like what you're saying is if 100 is the total and you had 53 was Revenge of the Nerds 2.
This is
40
science. This is science.
Write that down. 53.
100
and
equals
47. Of course, I'm simplifying things.
plus 47
For those of you who are not mathematicians.
equals John Butler's an asshole.
Revenge of the Nerds was an earnest take on nerd culture and trying to make
back.
them.
But it
trying
was,
to
it was
wait.
also 20.
No,
it was also 20 years before
No,
Big
it's-
Bang.
No,
Revenge of the Nerds was an earnest, honest attempt to
Normalize.
humanize and normalize these
Yeah.
guys. Big Bang Theory was a commercialized attempt with bad jokes,
But
bad
Matt-
writing, and bad everything.
But Matt, that's part of the equation. You can't just go with like the gut theory of what you think it is to be real.
Have you
Like,
ever laughed at one goddamn joke on Big Bang?
no, but
Theory?
I can tell you one thing. My only claim to fame is my very first girlfriend was a girl named Julie Parsons, whose brother was Jim
Are
Parsons.
we going after her on this?
No, we're not going after
I
her.
thought Jim Parsons was the guy that you punched in the face.
No, that's John Butler.
John Butler, stay with us.
The point is, you have to hit all markets to make something normal. And when you have something like Revenge of the Nerds 2, which I'll come back to because we're supposed to be going around in a thing to say what we thought about the film.
We were supposed to.
We were.
That's
But
what we're doing
Bring it
now.
back. Bring it back.
That's what we're doing now.
You have. I'm not going to go nearly as far as calling this an indie film. I don't remember if I saw the Universal Globe spin before the movie or
did.
not.
It did.
Or whoever it was. But
It did.
You have to hit all markets, and it's all components to a sum. You have the ground level movement. You have the commercial movement, which is more of what you're talking about. You have everything in between.
That's good shit.
And now, look, dude, like we are all in our 40 plus. We're all 40 plus years old. When we were coming up, when this movie came out, the movie, whether or not it sucked, resonated with us.
The original or the sequel?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It always like, okay, that's what I'm saying. Whether or not the movie sucked, it was like nerds were fucking nerds. They were picked on or whatever. Now somewhere, and I don't know where, but somewhere there was a flip. Now the nerds are not on the outs, right? It's the fucking blockheaded jock or the fucking racist or the sexist or the ageist or whatever you want to say it is.
All of my college classmates. Go ahead.
Right. So it flipped over to become a component of this is normal. The nerds are now normal. We're all fucking nerds. If you weren't nerds, you wouldn't have the Tuesday Night Cigar podcast. There was no room for this kind of shit in 1987.
Here.
Right? I mean, can you at least agree to that?
I agree.
Yes.
Okay, so I don't see it as a component of like, yes, okay, for itself, the movie on a scale of, I don't know, 1 to 10, the movie for me was like a 6. Like, it wasn't that great. But I'm not going to deny its role in people of our generation seeing what's happened culturally to normalize where we are now. And I'm not saying whether or not I agree or disagree with that.
I love everything you just said. I could not have
You
said
agree
that
with
better
that?
myself.
I mean, I think it does speak
But
to
I'll
some
try.
of that normalization of nerddom, if you could call it that. But I think the piece for me was that, Nerds 1 is this good versus evil thing, and Nerds 2 is this redemptive. I think the key in Nerds 2 for me was Ogre being brought over to become a Lambda, Tri-Lambda. I mean, that was the key part, is that it's this redemptive quality that, even you can be part of this group. And I think that to me is the message of it. Everything else aside, it's this moving from good versus evil to redemptive quality. That's my take on it.
Even though I think that they should not have changed Ogre, they should have accepted Ogre for who he is.
Yep.
I agree with you.
All right. Tug, give us some links.
All right, sign out, motherfuckers. No, join us on.
Todd, give us some links, goddammit. I mean, that's your fucking job.
You're watching this. You're watching this on the Facebook. So your Tuesday Night Cigar Club. You can subscribe to us on YouTube, Tuesday Night Cigar Club. Join us on Twitter at TNCCcast. See all of Cade's lovely photos. On Instagram, TNCC_cast podcast.
Put a lot of care into this.
Yeah, you do, and I appreciate that. By the way, if you're going to do some shopping on Amazon, go to the Tuesday Night Cigar Club page, click on the Amazon link, do your shopping from there. It doesn't cost you anything. We get a little kick back. Also, by the way, if you're going to buy some cigars, whether it's anything that you saw
Whether
tonight,
it's
still
Traveling Man or it's some Black Label cigars, go to Tuesday Night Cigar Club. Click on the famous cigar shop link.
By the way, if you're going to spend $100, type in the promo code TNCC20. Get your $20 back on there. Like Yogi Berra said, that's 20%, y'all. And you save $20.
Yogi Berra never said that.
He totally did. Why y'all shitting all over my links?
Although Tut does, before we sign off, Cade, good segue there with Yogi Berra, baseball season.
It is.
So
Cubs win.
Cubs win. I recently fuck you.
Fuck you, Tyler, and your
Fuck you, man.
Fuck you and your goddamn Cubs, son of a bitch.
I know they shouldn't have won, but they did it.
On another note, I did return from my trip to the Valley of the Sun last week.
Can't wait to read it.
So, new article will be coming out soon.
That will be on the TNCC website.
I am now conflicted about the Netflix movie The Dirt after hearing Tut loved it and Derek said it's a piece of shit. That's gonna leave me conflicted.
And they're both Crew fans, apparently.
I'm a Crew fan. So, but that's coming out, and
Fucking Mick.
look forward to a review. Also, a movie that's going to drop tomorrow on there, the one with Kevin Costner and Woody Harrelson, where they're playing the cops that go after Bonnie and Clyde.
You gonna do that one?
Definitely.
I am waiting for that. That drops this weekend.
I might have to bump that. The baseball ones I've already started working on. I might have to bump that ahead of the Motley Crue one.
So essentially, you're saying go to TuesdayNightCigarClub.com. You're going to be getting a lot of new stuff.
A lot of new stuff.
Fuck
And just,
yeah.
I know. I'm going to turn it over to UK just for me on a personal note. Dude, just man, fucking awesome to have the Rev and Derek here tonight, man. That's just fucking
Agreed.
Agreed.
It couldn't be better, man.
Cody, agreed?
Love having these guys here.
Absolutely.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, thanks.
It wouldn't be a show upstairs at O'Brien's if Cody didn't fall asleep. Don't forget, folks, if you never sin, Jesus died for nothing.
Please don't make any ice cream truck jokes.
No, I'm done with those.
All right.
Done with those.
We've heard enough of those.
I have enjoyed the hell out of you guys being here. It's been fun. May the wings of liberty never lose a feather. Sayonara, mother scratchers.
To learn more about the time jocks tried to silence me and cripple my spirit, but I fought back, face first, read my 1988 short story, I Munched Ultimate Nerd Muff and You Didn't, My Year Living Between the Thighs of Condoleezza Rice, by Matt A. Cade. Okay, I never met Condoleezza Rice, but she's a famous nerd, and you can imagine what that would have been like, am I right? Am I right? Summer nights. Maybe. Anywho, in the meantime, to learn more about the cigars and libations enjoyed on tonight's episode, you can visit HiramandSolomonCigars.com and NewBelgium.com.
For more on O'Brien's Irish Pub, the live music leader in Central Texas, please visit o'brienstemple.com and download their free smartphone app, where you'll find full beer listings including over 40 on tap, menu information, and a calendar of upcoming live events. To listen and purchase music heard on tonight's program, check out www.fritzbeermusic.com. Thank you for listening to the Tuesday Night Cigar Club podcast. This is Keith A. Howell saying until next time, friends, unless we see you sooner at the pub. So keep it smoky, and for God's sake, keep it ballsy as well.